Hey, it's doing the thing. Let me close my door. Hang on. Alrighty. I know I should really warn people when I'm doing these things. Did I set up the light properly? Yeah, anyway, hello. Another random live stream. A bit later than I would normally do it on a Wednesday, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, I'm back in the YouTube partner program, YPP, whatever, which means I can do ads and stuff. So thank you everyone for watching my stuff and getting me here. It happened a lot sooner than I was expecting because they say in their help stuff it takes like 30 days to get approved. And within like a day of my application going through, remonetised. Yay! So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, especially these long live streams, because I reckon they've helped me get my hours up. You know, you have to do the 4,000 hours of watch time in a year or something. Yeah, wow. And at the beginning of the year, I think I only had like 2,200 watch hours. Probably the Alienware video helped because a lot of people came to my channel for that, and I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. So that and learning how to live stream better, I guess. So yay. Yeah, it all happened a lot faster than I was expecting. So I first got monetized, I don't even remember when, like ages ago. When I started YouTube, I didn't have any goal. I was just making vlogs for myself. Yeah, and they're like, hey, come in the program. And they even sent me like something in the mail. I think it was that early in YouTube that they actually mailed stuff to you, even though you were a no one. Yeah, and then I was in the partner program almost 10 years, maybe, until like, I think early 2018 is when the whole adpocalypse happened and the new rules came in where you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And then they're like, you don't qualify. And I got booted out, despite having not done anything. So, hey, what can you do? It was a little bit frustrating because like there were so many controversies around then. I think YouTube's kind of settled down in the past year or so, but yeah, at the time, like there were some big YouTubers, like that guy who went into the Japanese forest and was like filming dead bodies or something, and I think like there were terrorists getting money off YouTube somehow, and a whole bunch of spam stuff happening. And I think they've had controversies with kids content as well. So yeah, that was kind of a weird time. And I mean, I suppose I was starting to YouTube again a bit more, but hey, didn't bother me as much because I didn't really make much from monetization back then, especially because I didn't put proper ads, like the skippable ads. I only just put the little pop-up ones because I don't like watching skippable ads, but maybe I'm just impatient. Anyway, I haven't put any ads on my channel yet because I need to figure out how the system works. Like in the past 2.5 years of not being in the program, things have changed and I've sort of vaguely kept up, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's different now and I got to figure out how that works. I think I've got to rewatch a lot of my old videos if I want to put ads on as well, just to make sure that they actually count. So there's that. Also, hello, whoever's here. Live chat. They've given me super chat. I don't really know how that works. Like I've sort of seen, I don't watch many live streams, but I've seen it done a bit. But then there's like some stickers thing, and I think I can actually. Oh no, there's a custom emoji. What do I do with that? Is that something I can change? I don't even know. Like I need to learn how all this stuff works. It's like show my support for myself. Yeah, but apparently there's some stickers thing, and I have no idea what that is. They're like turn on stickers. So I was like, okay. Anyway, so over the next, I don't know how long, I'm going to have to sit down and read their help articles and watch their tutorials and figure out how it works and figure out how not to annoy people with it too much. I think probably I'll put ads first on the Alienware video because that's where a lot of people come to troll me. And if they're going to troll me, I'm going to make it super annoying for them to sit there and like access the video. So that's what I'll do. Because all my loyal viewers have already seen that video. You guys aren't going to be going back there. So I'm going to start off putting ads on the videos that are most likely to attract annoying people so I can annoy them first. Although when I upload videos, I'll probably put ads on because I gotta, like, you know, it's easier than going back and doing it. So yeah, you might start seeing them on new stuff, but I still have a lot to figure out. Yeah, anyway, so I guess that's where I'm up to with the YouTube partner program and figuring all that out. I have different pajamas on today. We're sticking to summery pajamas because like there've been a few cold days, but overall it's getting warmer in Sydney. So yeah, we've got Mickey. I didn't buy these pajamas. I think I don't. I'm sort of lose track of pajamas, but I'm pretty sure these ones, my Japanese cousin, one of my Japanese cousins brought from Japan maybe for me. That's why it's cuter than what I'd normally go for myself. You know, like different to my tiger pajamas and not black. Yeah, a lot of my older pajamas I didn't buy myself, but hey, today we're Mickey. I've probably got different shirts, but this one's comfortable. You guys are the only ones seeing me in my pajamas, I guess. So like, what does it matter what it looks like? Anyway, yeah, what else is going on? So I had bonsai today, but I didn't get as dirty because I wasn't repotting anything today. I was just putting fertilizer in a bunch of plants for sale and putting pebble on them because, yeah, when we first make them, we don't really put pebble on because it's not really necessary. It's more of a decorative thing. But when we put them out for display for sale, then you put the things, make them all nice. And yeah, I did some trimming. I did a whole lot of black pine, you know, cleaning up the old needles and so on to prepare them for wiring. So yeah, no repotting. And I think I'm doing okay. Like physically, I did carry a bunch of stuff, but there was nothing too heavy. And, you know, repotting, I think, is one of the most like guru kinds of things because you have to get the plant out of the thing and brush all the soil out. Well, not all the soil out. You don't want to do that, but enough to trim the root system, put it back in, all the soil and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so it wasn't as hard on me. And I think that's why I'm like, hey, but also because I didn't get dirty, I didn't I didn't need to wash my hair. Like I wasn't even going to have a shower, but mum's like, you should shower. So I showered. But I put a shower cap on, so I tied my hair into a bun. I'm sorry, that's not a bun. Anyway, and I got my little shower cap. My shower cap's this little black bat thing with bat wings. So yeah, that was, oh, what's this settings? No, that's all good. Oh, is that something I can click? No, never mind. Anyway, yeah, so I didn't wash my hair, so it's less crazy compared to when I usually live stream on a Wednesday. Yeah, I was tempted not to live stream though because Gruen is back on TV. That's on the ABC. It's a TV show about advertising and like how advertisers try to manipulate you into things and like, you know, what makes a good ad. And it's kind of interesting, but it does get a bit samey. Like a lot of those shows where it's the same concept every week. I've sort of gotten a bit bored of Hard Quiz, which is on before Gruen. Because it's like, yes, it's funny, but it's the same thing kind of every week. And it's like, what? Huh? Is there any, hello, by the way, hello. Is there any bonsai goals you have? Like any famous bonsai gardens? Gardens? I don't really have any bonsai goals. Although like, you know, I've got some fun ones that I've had brewing for a couple of years that I want to film for you guys and show you what I've been up to on that front. Some sort of punk bonsai, like weird creative stuff that the bonsai community would frown upon very much. But me being me, I have to try something a little bit different. You know, still using, I guess, bonsai design principles in the tree, but the way that I put it together, bit weird. yeah, so I'll get to that at some point. I like doing strange things, but I really like I have too many plants at the moment. If you saw what was that video I did a couple back and I showed you the beetroots and like, did you see my table of plants is just like and I still with those plants, a lot of them are producing seed pods and so I'm trying to harvest all the seed pods and it's a pain and like, this, here, let's go on a tangent. So when people complain about like genetically modified crops and so on, right? And one of the things they get upset is like, ooh, Monsanto or whoever's the big bad, farming company, agriculture company, whatever. One of the things people get upset about is like, but they can't harvest the seeds and all that. And I'm like, have you tried harvesting seeds? Because I have, and it's terrible. It's such a pain in the butt. I'm sure there's more efficient ways to get seeds than what I'm doing with my amateur like learning by experiment. But oh my god, oh my god! And now I have seeds coming out my ears as well because I harvested a bunch ages ago. And now it's spring again, and everything's got flowers, and flowers mean seed pods, and it's just like so with bonsai, good luck to me because I'm still trying to clear out this backlog of other plants. And, once I harvest all the seed pods, I just keep them aside, then maybe have a small garden of edible plants. So, like, I mean, beetroot to me isn't really that edible. I'm not a huge fan of beetroot, but what we had some carrots. The carrots are all right, and oh my god, I really need to harvest those seeds before like we've got storms coming to Sydney for like ages. And when there's heaps and heaps of rain, there's sort of a risk of the seeds popping out. And then they get all through the garden. And then what do you know? Suddenly I have a whole bunch more plants that I have to look after. And yeah, it's my job because I guess I'm the plants girl. But I mean, Mum's got her own gardening stuff, but when it comes to the weird plants, and then Mum's always wanting to like rip stuff out and cut them down before they're ready, and I'm like, no, but I want to see the seeds. And so yeah, I've created a monster or fallen into it because originally it was a thing to entertain Mikey when the Woolies things were around. But yeah, no, I have too many plants, so I do have some bonsai things I need to do. But the thing about my bonsai, they're all bonsai I made or my mum made. So they're, for one thing, not very old, but also when I got depressed, I didn't look after them very well. So a lot of the shape, like the ones that survived, the shape's not very good. I don't have any like fancy bonsai. Yeah, it's just like me doing stuff. So very hobby level kinds of things. Obviously at work, we work on some more full on kinds of ones, like older ones. I think today there was one that was like 40 years old that we put on sale, or maybe it was already on sale and I just cleaned it up. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, no, and I like doing my bonsai. And I like going to work, but I'm not like part of any bonsai clubs or anything. There are bonsai clubs in Sydney. It's just not my thing because I think they do like demonstrations and so on, and I'm not a huge fan of watching. I like doing. So I don't think I have the patience for those bonsai clubs. I know like my the bonsai group that I work for, they do a lot with those clubs, but yeah, it's just not for me. Um, I like doing things my own way at home, and then at work I do it the work way. And yeah, I think like if I was going to have any big bonsai goals, I would have to be more single-minded about it. And one of the things that's difficult for me is I'm constantly changing my mind about what I want to do. Like I get bored of things easily. The fact that I've stuck to anything is exciting for me because I've like tried so many hobbies, like even when I was really young, constantly trying stuff. And yeah, just getting bored, switching hobbies. And like even at a young age, my parents are like, are you going to stick to this thing this time? So like yeah, no, I think I would like, yes, because I'm working in bonsai now, I'm focusing more on it. But if I wasn't, I think it would be harder to maintain that focus. Um But it is kind of like relaxing in a way. It depends what you're doing. Today was an easier day. I think I got slightly sunburned on this arm. I don't know if you can see it in this light, but it's hard to see even like in person. I just noticed in the shower it was a little bit more red than the other one. But actually, no, maybe I avoided sunburn, but I was like right on the edge of properly turning red, which is not fun. I got sunburned quite badly when I was younger, and I think that just put me off the whole sun experience. Because we used to go to the beach a lot. The family, uh, like dad's siblings, I think pooled together some money to buy a beach house like way, 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 way back. If you bought property a long time ago, it used to be a lot cheaper. So they pulled together and bought a house like close to one of the beaches in Sydney. And we like as kids growing up, once they'd had it for ages, we used to go and stay there and then, have easy access to the beach. Like, I live close-ish to a beach, but it's not really a good beach. So this one was closer to a good beach with like nice waves and, just yeah, good. And quieter than Bondi. I know, like, for people overseas, Bondi is the beach that everyone gets excited about, but I personally think it's overrated. You'd be better off going to a beach that's not as crowded and just better. Anyway, we used to go to the beach a lot. Like, we'd spend a week at the beach house when it was our family, like our turn to go. And um, yeah, I used to like doing those boogie boards and so on, like not surfboards that you stand on, the ones that you lie on, because I'm not that coordinated to stand on a surfboard. And then, like, especially being younger kids as well, and playing in the like sand, making sand castles and all that kind of stuff. I used to swim a bit. And yeah, but uh like with girls' swimming costumes, so like I've never done the bikini thing. I'm talking about one piece things. And there's some where like the whole back is heaps open. And so like I had put sun cream everywhere else except on the back. I forgot about. And I got so badly sunburned that I think for the rest of the week I couldn't really, like, it was all peeling and gross and very painful. And I was just sort of lying on my stomach. I couldn't sleep on my back or anything. Um, it was a terrible experience. And so, like, after that, I was like full on long sleeve sun vests anytime I went swimming, even like in my friend's swimming pool. I mean, it's outdoors, but they're all in their bikinis, and there's me with my one-piece swimming costume, and then my long sleeve sun vest, and depending on what we were doing, maybe I had board shorts, except that they chafe, so not all the time. And I would be that one nutcase who's in full-on sun protection, and one of the friend's parents were like thought I was the best role model because look how sensible I'm being while they're all in their bikinis and I'm heaps sun safe. Yeah. And then at some point, I think I stopped swimming, like, gradually slowed down with the swimming because it's not really my thing. I mean, the problem about swimming or having a shower or any of that kind of stuff is then you have to get dry again afterwards. And did I really enjoy the experience enough to make it worth it? Not always. And, like, if you've been at the beach playing in the sand and then you've got sand all over you and, like, it makes a huge mess. But no, I stopped swimming when I guess when I started coloring my hair. So, like, this hair I could swim with, but when you've had, like, I had the like bright alternative colors and you have to bleach to do that. And so if you swim, I think mainly chlorine is the problem, and your hair will go green, or I know it's damaging and all that. I'm not sure if salt water also messes with it, but then, like, as well as the bleach, you have the bright colors, and if it gets wet, it's not permanent color. Like, it washes out over time. So best to avoid swimming. So that's when I kind of stopped. And I don't know, have I been swimming since then? I still have a swimming costume, like, just in case, but I have no idea if it fits me. Although, I suppose with the swimming costume, the main risk would be it stretching out, but I've also put on weight since whenever. So, not by much, but enough. So maybe it would be okay. I don't know. How did I get onto the topic of Swimming. I don't even know. How did I go on that tangent? Sunburn, because of bonsai. I was worried about getting sunburn. Maybe I should start bringing the sun cream again. Although I think next week it's going to be raining, so maybe I won't need to, and we'll just work inside. I don't know. I don't know. I do have. There it is, next to the pump bottle. That one. That's my giant thing of sun cream. Which I haven't used as much as I thought I was going to. If I use sun cream though, then I definitely need a shower because it feels gross at the end of the day, especially when you've been doing sweaty stuff in the sun. Just doesn't feel good. But yeah, no. I'm in a better habit of showering, so yay me, yay me. I just didn't wash my hair. And it feels fine. I don't need to wash it that much. Look at it, you can see how messy it is. Like, the problem with long hair, it's constantly rubbing on stuff, and so it gets tangled, and you get these, like, it's not neat because I haven't cut it in ages. Anyway, so that's bonsai. Yeah, and I was talking to my boss about how I got my YouTube channel monetized again, and we were talking about, YouTube a little bit, and he seemed kind of open to the idea of me filming, like, working on stuff, because we were having conversations, and he's like, we should have a podcast or something, as a joke, because, like, we tried listening to a bonsai podcast, or what was supposed to be a bonsai podcast, and they were talking about not bonsai. So yeah, but no, the problem with filming at work is, like, well, I couldn't live stream from work because the internet doesn't seem to be good enough. Never seen my hair in a ponytail? Oh well, it's just, I actually I put it in a ponytail, then I plait it, and then I turn the plait into a bun, and that keeps it out of my way while I'm at bonsai. But yeah. Anyway, no, he was open to the idea of me filming some stuff at work and, like, showing how I'm doing bonsai stuff. But yeah, bit hard to organize, especially because my phone is so crap. Like, ever since I got the port fixed, the sound is no good. That's one of the reasons I have this webcam now. Yeah, and then when you are filming, like, if I was working on something for a long time and it got up to 30 minutes, around 30 minutes is when it cuts the file, and then it starts a new file, and it's just like, ugh, why? Because sometimes when it restarts the new file, it doesn't pick up things. That's why I used to, like, stop between things when I was doing a long video, just to make sure it's actually filming. So there's that, and then I'd have to probably need a power pack just in case, or, like, my recharge cable at the very least, and I'd have to take a tripod, and then I'd have to edit it later, and yeah, tricky. And then, like, depending on what we're doing, like, I wouldn't be able to film doing a customer's tree. It would have to be just the ones that we're selling, and yeah, I don't know, it would take a bit of planning, but he's open to it. I don't know. I think there are some people who wouldn't mind seeing some of the stuff that I do at work in that sense, and, doing demonstrations and be like, come buy stuff from us, guys. We've actually got to make a lot of bonsai. But no, actually, one last thing about my phone, speaking of how crap it is. So I don't get phone calls very often, and I don't make phone calls on this. If I'm at home, I'll use the landline, which we still have, because you can't get internet without having the phone, apparently. At least no one would give it to us like that. So we still have the landline. And yeah, but lately, a couple people have called me on this phone, and they're both like, oh, why is it echoing so much? And they can hear themselves somehow. So I don't have it on speakerphone or anything, so I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But if it doesn't work as a phone, is it really a phone, or is it just like a fancy gadget? I don't know. Like, we're still able to have a conversation, but yeah, when I pick up, everyone's like, oh, it's echoing. So I don't know. I may have to get a new phone at some point, but for now I'm holding out because I'm doing okay making videos on this webcam. But yeah, we'll see, because so Punk Rave Australia have been in contact, and we are going to start doing those videos again at some point. I just don't know exactly when. When I start doing more of that stuff, though, that's when this phone might become a bit of a pain, and we'll see how we go. But like, I'm already worried about the sound because how I used to do, like the last time I did a Punk Rave Australia video, I'm pretty sure the phone was fine. I think it's only after that that it broke. I'm not sure. Maybe the last video might have had some issues. I don't remember, but most of those videos were done when the phone was fine. Now though, like the sound is a little bit dodgy, and trying to go in software and make it less crap. There's only so much I can do. So I'm sort of like, well, maybe I take my H4n that I'm using with the webcam for sound, and maybe I'd have to get the. I think at the moment it's only on USB power. I do have like a charger thing that I can use, but I think I need to replace the SD card, because the SD card, like the little slider thing that you use to lock it, is broken. I don't know how that happened. I think I lent it to the last guy I dated, and when I got it back, the thing was a little bit broken. You can tape over it, but every now and then when I'm turning it off after making a video, it says card protected, and I'm like, great. That means I can't write anything new to it. So I can get the data off, but maybe, yeah, it'd be safer if I put a card in. Because the other thing is, like, if I'm recording audio on it and it doesn't work, that's going to be annoying, although I will have the backup sound on that, so not a huge loss. Just I'd like the tech to work and not let me down. Yeah, it's a shame I don't have like proper YouTubing gear, but hey, now that I'm monetized, maybe one day I will think about getting better gear. I mean, this stuff is all good for just stuffing around, and I'll just be doing hobby stuff, but you never know, maybe I will take it more seriously one day. Who knows? I used to do like 2 videos a day. I mean, they were short videos because there was like first there was a 10-minute time limit, but you could stretch it to 11, and then there was a 15-minute time limit, whereas now I have no time limit, so I just go on forever. Does that count as making multiple videos a day if I just go forever? But yeah. I used to do multiple videos a day, and imagine if I went back to that, maybe I would want some gear. Although with gear, then you end up doing more editing, so that sort of breaks up the flow a bit as well. I don't know. I don't remember how did I do that? I must have been like super bored, or I don't know. My brain has changed too much. My life has changed too much. The technology has changed a lot, because that was, 2 videos a day on that old 480p webcam, with that constant hum in the microphone. That used to be fun. The quality of that. If you watch some of my earliest videos, and it's just like the whole thing through. Oh, that old webcam though helped me out. Like when I was first doing music and I used it to record things, and you go into Audacity and use the noise cancelling thing. It's passable, I guess, for a beginner musician. In some ways, I still feel like I'm a beginner musician, but hey, zoinks. Zoinks before bed. Hello. What time is it for you currently? It's 4 a.m. You got up at 4 a.m. Why? Or did you not go to sleep? 4 a.m. I am not conscious. It's 8:52 p.m. here. So yeah, you haven't slept yet. Okay, that I think I understand more. Like staying up heaps late. I've only done it a couple of times, like when I had assignments due. Like, oh, I don't know, whenever I did assignments. I got better though as I went, like especially later in uni. I would get my assignments done earlier just to get them out of the way, and also like not caring as much, like who cares, I'll just get the mark I get. And in some ways maybe that was better, because I seemed to get better marks like as time went on. But on the other hand, maybe I just got smarter or better at playing the academic game. About to start studying in a few. Wait, what? You've stayed up and now it's 4 o'clock, and you're about to start studying like today, or you're about to start studying like next year, or Because if it's like 4 a.m., if it's I would just go to bed. Screw studying. I don't understand how you can be conscious at that time of day. Like sometimes, like if I'm really stretching it, I can go to 2 a.m., but I would be so dead. 4 a.m. No, it's not happening. Especially not these days. Oh god. Yeah, wow. I I've had a bit of sleep problems lately, and I think that made me grumpy. Yeah, and like, um, I think after I posted that Holy Roller Spirit Box cover, I had a lot of people messaging me, and I just sort of I think I had a little bit of anxiety from posting it, and so I didn't sleep so well because there's a little bit of like, oh shit, here I go posting another cover, and there's things I did that I'm sort of like, oh, I don't know if I really like the way I did this, this, and this, things that people aren't necessarily going to notice, and blah blah blah. And then there's the fan base, and oh, Sulfur Soul 502, hello, good morning, good evening from Australia. It seems like some of you got up way too early. And then I feel guilty for like live streaming randomly when everyone should be asleep from London, UK. Oh, hello. Hey. Hello. Welcome to my crazy channel. You found me. Oh, wow. The UK sounds crazy at the moment. I haven't kept up a lot with like the COVID situation, but it sounds insane. So, thoughts and prayers, I guess. I know I haven't really, I don't think I watched the latest Malin Baker video, but, uh, that's the main way I've been finding out about London's everything. Everything closes at 10 p.m. Oh my god. Yeah, it just like, I mean, I get that they want to try and stop stuff, and we've done that pretty successfully in Australia. But I think, like, if they're going to do it, they need to be a little bit more consistent and clear. And like, I can't even keep up. He describes what's going on in the UK, and I'm just like, they're doing what now? Especially like, didn't they tell everyone to go out to restaurants and stuff, and then they're like, oh dear, I wonder why we have to shut everything down now. And it's like, are you open or I don't know. I don't know. It's too confusing. And then people making money. It's too confusing, the whole UK thing. I'm pretty glad I'm in Sydney. I mean, Melbourne has had a rough time, but Sydney's been okay with COVID. Like in Southwest Sydney, there's been the odd case here and there, but they seem to be really good at getting on top of it, and we haven't had to shut down. And I think New South Wales has been a bit more open than some of the other states. Like we're happy to tolerate a low level of cases as long as we're jumping on them quickly, whereas some of the other states that haven't had cases in ages are a little bit paranoid. But what can you do? At least, like, I guess on the upside, since they have no cases, some of them are basically living completely normal lives. Whereas, like, here, I haven't been to a gig in ages. Gigs have started up again, but you have to sit down, and like, do I really want to go out when I could just sit down at home? The atmosphere will be different. You can't have as many people there. Yeah. But also, not being in a band kind of makes me feel a bit like disconnected from the whole scene. And sometimes I just want to get away from music because, it gets frustrating. And so I guess that's why I've been doing, like, I tried that cover because my friend asked me to do it in my growl style, false chord, when it's usually a Fry Screaming song. But that's another anxiety, is like, people are used to hearing this song in Fry Scream, and then I come in false chord. Island is in the same boat. If I wasn't frontline staff, I'd be forced to shut indoors for the next 6 weeks. We need to up Swedish model and just open everything. No worry, great way to start the day. Death Wish coffee. I've heard of like extreme coffee things. I don't drink coffee, so yeah. But if you're gonna be up super early, I mean, mornings. I'm not a morning person. Maybe if I did drink coffee, I'd be more of a morning person. But I don't like the taste, so yeah. But no, with the Swedish model, I feel like they didn't quite get it right either. Like, I'm not sure how Europe can really do anything because, like, the situation in Europe is so different from Australia. It was easy for us to just shut the borders, and that got most of it until the whole Victoria thing happened. But I think in Europe it's just harder, and I think Sweden, apparently their economy hasn't gone as good as you'd expect from just leaving things open. Maybe that's because they're so connected to the rest of Europe, though. So, if the European economy goes down, maybe there's that. I don't know. I haven't looked into it enough, so this is just me talking garbage. But yeah, I would not want to be in Europe at the moment because it sounds crazy and it's hard to know what's going on at any given time. Um, I've lost track. I just keep track of what's going on in Sydney, and things are doing okay. I think they figured out where most of the more recent outbreaks have come from, so yay. Yeah. Uh, nope, we're all good. Um, yeah, COVID. It's kind of sucks, but hey, I guess it's gonna be around for a while because I heard it. Like, I think, is it in the UK that they're testing if they infect a healthy person, they've got like volunteers who are volunteering to be infected and like observed in a hospital. And I think it's something to do with vaccine development. It was just on the news before, but I wasn't listening, so I missed some of it. But I'm just like, yeah, okay, so we're getting up to some extreme stuff. Um, mm, I know there's a lot of optimism for a vaccine in the next year or so, but like getting it distributed around the place, that's going to take a long time. And so we're all going to, like, even if they get one that works. Random question, I'm curious to know if the clothing from Hunkrave Australia that you review is still in good quality. Would their clothing last a long time? Well, like, I mean, there is my wardrobe of black stuff. It's all like, yeah, you can't tell one thing from the other, but like, it seems fine. The problem is because of COVID, I haven't had anywhere to go. I was just starting to get back into going to gigs and stuff, and like I briefly joined that band that I ended up leaving. But I was starting to get into things again, and then everything's shut. So where do I go? So I've been wearing my lazy clothes because, like every time you wear something and wash it, it sort of slowly starts to deteriorate. So I haven't been wearing the punk rave stuff because, like, where would I go? I'm also going to ban TV meal. What is a knife crime here than COVID? Okay. Kind of the same. Right. So in the menu. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't kept up to date with like the activist protests in the UK. But I know, like, when way back when it happened, there was some pretty extreme things going on, and I was just like, ooh. But yeah, no, I haven't kept up with what's going on with that. I Yeah, there's not a lot going on in Australia, I think. Like, we had one big massive protest, but then after that, the cops shut down everything. Um, and I think one of them got shut down before it started, and I don't know. Yeah, with the venue stuff, and going out, I mean, I've kind of just gone back to my default of being lazy, but I am kind of I want to perform, rather like I'm not a very good audience member. I like to actually do the things. It's the same, like, I don't even play sport, but when I was younger, I'd rather play the sport than watch the sport kind of thing. It's like the same as I'd rather be in the band on the stage than watch it. Although there are some good bands that you can get into, and like I will go straight to the front and like rock out rather than stand back and whatever. I prefer to get right into it. XE XE, is that Extinction Rebellion or is that a different one? I don't know. Like, they sounded Extinction Rebellion sounded the craziest. Oh my god. Yeah, no. There's a lot of stuff going on around the world, and I can't keep up. Yeah. Anyway, where did I put my water bottle? I must have. And in my bonsai bag. Ah, there it is. There's not a lot left in it. And I also really need to pee because I've been drinking my chamomile before coming online again. So, yeah, dial-up cup again. But no, I'll hold out for a bit longer before I disappear for a moment. But no, Yeah, wow. There's more people here than I was expecting. So I never give warning about when I'm gonna live stream. Oh yeah, it is Extinction Rebellion. Okay, yeah. They sort of like got a whole bunch of momentum for at one point, and then I think people kind of realized they were a bit crazy, and it sort of just I don't know. That like they're still going, right, but there's like a lot less people. Last I heard, anyway. I don't know. I just I don't know. Some of the movements, like, I get what people are trying to do, but going to more extreme lengths, I don't think is the right way to get something done because you end up putting people off. Um, so, yeah, but on the other hand, trying to do more centrist protest or centrist activism, I think is too, like, it doesn't have the drama involved to get people's attention, maybe. Um, yeah, it's tricky, and I think when you have an activist group, the people who are most passionate and like running the thing, because they're passionate, they're more likely to be a bit more extreme in their views, and I feel like that's why a lot of these activist movements end up getting pushed towards crazy. And it doesn't really matter like what side of politics it's on. It's like once someone has an idea and they're that passionate, um, if you're not careful, it gets crazy very quickly because you get those echo chambers as well. And I don't know, the internet makes people crazy. So there's that too. I don't know. I think also I just have this natural sort of feeling about groups in general because I'm not a social person. So if I see a lot of people going for something, I'm like, okay, but what's the, not the catch, but like, what am I missing from all these people suddenly going towards a thing? And I get suspicious if I see a lot of people in groups doing stuff. I don't know. I like to be on my own, I guess, to a point. But yeah, no, activist groups. Every now and then, like, I, I don't know what to do with my life, right? And every now and then, someone's crazy enough to say, like, have you thought about politics or activism or so on? And I'm just like, no, I couldn't. Why are you suggesting this? I think even like talking to my doctor maybe about my mental health, and she's trying to. I guess if you have like with activist groups, right? It's all about you have some cause, some passion or whatever. And maybe she was trying to help me, like, if I have a passion, maybe getting involved in it would help give direction to my life. And so, like, some kind of activism might be a pathway to that. But apart from me not feeling heaps strongly about anything in particular, I couldn't do it. And, like, trying to be around people who maybe have the same ideas as me. I don't think there's that many people. Like, I would not, if you cloned me and had a room full of me, I would not get on with me. So good luck to me getting on with other people who think like me. Good to see you're doing well under the circumstances. Keep it up. I'm looking forward to more videos. Enjoy what's left of your day. Gonna drag myself to work. Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'll live stream for a bit and then I will be lazy. Not as tired as I would normally be on a Wednesday afternoon, a Wednesday evening, whatever. But yeah, no. I've got a lot of stuff going on in my life though, like slowly, because I've got appointments and stuff. So I went to the dentist on Monday, and yesterday Hope had another checkup at the vet hospital. And then next week I've got more appointments, and then I've got more stuff, and then I've got, even in November, I've got more appointments, and it's just like, oh my God, everything at once. I think because like with COVID, a lot of stuff just got postponed. Solar Effects, hello! Thank you for the sticker. You're the first person to use a sticker on my channel. Thank you, Solar Effects. And hey, Nervous Neuron, you're my first super chat. Yay! Congrats on remonetization. Thank you, guys. I wasn't really expecting anyone to use them. I just turned them on, but thank you. You guys are the first to do super chat stickers and so on. Yay! Well, Solar got the sticker first and you got the like standard super chat first. In the monetization thing, they're considered like separate things, so you both got a first, and that's exciting. Yeah, no, I turned on super chat, but I was not really expecting anything because like I'm able to keep up with these chats, whereas I see whereas I see like I have watched a couple of live streams from like big YouTubers, and the stream, the chat is just like so I can kind of understand the super chat thing. You kind of need like a boom so that you can like see it right there. So yeah, that's exciting. What happens if I click it? Oh, and then so that little bubble at the top, when I click it, it brings up the comment. So I'm not, that's good to know how that works. So like if I ever get to a point where it is going too fast for me to keep up, that's how I would do it. Oh, but yeah, no, that's exciting. Um and that little thing's animated too. So that's what a sticker is, because I've never seen a sticker in action. They're just like, would you like these? Yes. And then with ads, apparently you can turn off ads for sensitive categories, which I didn't. But there's also like two that are automatically turned off. So like the rest you can turn off by choice, they're default on, and then there's two that are default off. One of them is gambling, and I've left that off because I'm like, I don't really want to promote gambling. Yeah. And then it seemed like there's an information article about like what you can do with it, and I was just like, I'm not going to read that, so I just leave it off. But I decided to turn on ads for alcohol because I figure some of you probably need a bit to sit through however long of me rambling. So if you see alcohol ads, that's what's going on. But no, I haven't turned on ads anywhere yet. I still haven't caught up with what's how it all works, because since I was last remonetized, things have changed. Like it used to just be either a green icon or a yellow icon, and sometimes it would change. But now like you can fill in, I think you can fill in a form and tell them like what your video has in it, and if you're accurate at that, they're less likely to change things. Like they start trusting your assessment of your videos. So I feel like, I don't know if that is on older videos as well, or only if it only comes up for new videos. I haven't had a play with it yet. I honestly thought I had at least 30 days to read up on it and learn how things work. But yeah, they monetized me like a day after I hit the 4,000 hours thing, and it automatically went through, which I wasn't expecting it to, like my application to automatically go in. I signed a thing a long time ago, but they released some update saying, oh, we're going to take away that and you'll have to re-sign the thing. But maybe I did sign the new one. I don't know. I can't keep up sometimes with all the changes in YouTube. Yeah, and then I already had an AdSense account, and then they just sent it through. I didn't have to do anything. Day later, you're back in the YPP. YouTube partner program. Yay. So I kind of do wonder if, like, because I used to be monetized, they kind of already approved my channel back then, and the only thing that was holding me back was that I didn't have the statistics that they required. So maybe they sort of like auto approved me in a way. I don't know. And like, even after, like, I haven't caused any big dramas on YouTube. I haven't like uploaded dodgy content or and so on. So yeah, I guess they haven't been angry with me. I've been on the platform forever, so maybe that helped me get monetized faster. But yeah, no, because the help article does say 30 days, and then I've seen what's that channel? It's like Creator Insider. Sometimes I watch, and like if you go to the comments, every now and then you see like people complaining that they've been waiting 3 or 4 months to get their channel assessed for monetization. So that was the expectation I had. I was like, I'm a nobody. I'll end up on the end of the queue, and they, especially with COVID, they have less staff. So yeah, I wasn't expecting it so quickly. I thought I had time to read on how everything works. But yeah, no, exciting. So I've got a lot of study to do on how things go. But I've also got other videos I want to make. So I started filming a video about my fangs in that last 13-second clip that I posted. And then I started, like, one of the reasons I couldn't sleep last night is I was thinking of things, wait, I forgot to say that, or like I started talking about this and then I got sidetracked and forgot to finish the point. And so I'm going to have to go back and possibly edit things in. And then because I'm filming on this, like, it washes out the picture really easy. So I'm like, I need to take photos so I can actually show you what I mean. And so that's going to take a while to edit. I don't know. And then like learning the monetization thing again. And then there's another video I want to get done for maybe Tuesday or when, I don't know. There's a video that I need to make like right now. I have reasons I need to make this video right now. So I'll be working on that over the weekend, maybe. Yeah, I have plans and stuff. So how much time am I going to have to read up on monetization? I don't know. But yeah, it's exciting. It's also like when you're in the YouTube partner program, now they have this extra little thing for copyright. And so if anyone has used my videos, like copied my videos and re-uploaded them, there's like a little tool where I can send them a thing saying, take down this video, it's mine. And so there's already some stuff that showed up in it, but like all of them except one were Punk Rave Australia, because like I upload on my channel and they mirror, and so we've both got the same videos. But then there was also another one which was something I filmed of a friend playing music, and like I'm not going to issue her a takedown. Like I'm happy for her to have that. So yeah, that's all that's come up in the copyright. I'm not someone that people feel a need to re-upload. Although like there was a time like way back when someone was trying to impersonate me and, you know, uploaded some videos. I think maybe it was when I was taking a break, or I don't know. And I think they thought they were helping by, you know, backing up my stuff. Well, I think they were trying to back up my videos in some way. But you know, I was still around, and I was like, "Hey, stop it!" And they you know killed that channel. So, or maybe I went to, did I report it to YouTube? I don't know. Things have changed. It's been so long. Yeah, how I used to YouTube was different, and the whole ecosystem of YouTube is different. Yeah. A lot's changed, hey. I do miss the old design though, where you could have more of that MySpace kind of look. That used to be good. But now it's all like generic channels, and the only control you have is as a viewer, whether it's light mode or dark mode, really. Yay though, because I was sort of like, when they took away monetization, it was a bit like, I've been here so long and I haven't done anything wrong and blah, 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 blah. I'm rhyming backs and yeah, it just felt kind of shit that they do a blanket demonetizing thing. But hey, I've made it back, and I wasn't expecting to. Like when the 2000 the 4,000 hour thing came in, I was like, oh, shit, I'm never gonna get there. But here I am. So yeah, cool. I think the Alienware video did help give the channel a boost though, and then also learning the live stream. But you know, it's not like I can afford to buy a new computer every however often. I feel like some of the statistics want me to become a tech YouTuber, because a lot of my most viewed ones, the ones that stay consistently most viewed, are like that Alienware one, although it's dropped off now that it's an older product, and you know, the new graphics cards finally came out, and whatever. And then, but there's also like the one where I'm fixing my old computer with the RAM. That one's quite popular, and I think it must be because a lot of people have either the same or a similar computer, and they're all getting the 4 beeps code as well. And I guess maybe because Dell has newer computers, it's a bit harder to find out what the beep codes are, because the newer computers have a different beep code, maybe, so people watch my video, which I did not intend as like a tutorial of how to fix your computer. It was just me being like, here's a thing that happens to me. I'm going to complain to my to my viewers. Yeah, but no, apparently it's helped a lot of people, so that's a thing. And I'm not the only one who's had such an old computer forever and ever and ever. But yeah, no, the most viewed tend to be those tech ones, and then also that Kill Switch Engage cover I did, this Fireburns. I think it's like it's connected to some wrestling guy as well. So I guess anytime he's doing something or whatever, I get another wave of people listening to the song. And you get sort of mixed reactions, because, you know, some people like that's the nerve-wracking thing about doing covers, is a lot of people will be attached to how the original cover was done. And so when you do it your way, like a lot of people give you a positive response, but there'll be some people who will feel like you ruined the song. by doing it differently, or messing up something that they felt was important or whatever. So yeah, I think that that week, I that was one of the reasons I struggled to sleep so much, is because firstly, the anxiety after I posted it, and then I think dealing with like I think I hadn't. No one has really left a negative comment on the Holy Roller Spirit box cover, but I did get a lot of people like commenting things, and so keeping up with the social media and then keeping up with the messages, and I got like, I was trying to be positive, but then I sort of reached my limit of socializing, and I was like even online socializing can be exhausting sometimes, and I was just like, I can't. I need to go back to my default of just being asocial for a while, and so I can recharge my social batteries. Um, yeah, but no, I posted it in a lot of Facebook groups. So I think maybe the Facebook version might have more views than the YouTube version. I'm not sure. But I posted it in a lot of groups. Mainly to find a band. Like, I also posted it to the women in metal groups because that's good for networking and, seeing how people do things differently. And I tried to keep up with some of the women in metal as like an inspiration thing, but sometimes I have to just hide it all because I get a little bit frustrated because I'm like, well, I'm still not going anywhere. But yeah, no, I also posted in a lot of Sydney metal, Australian metal, all that kind of stuff, those kinds of groups, saying, hey, I'm looking for a band. And still hasn't gone anywhere yet, unfortunately. I had a few people contact me, but nothing's really gone anywhere. Like, it's either the wrong style or it's just an individual musician, and they're like, hey, I play this instrument. And I'm like, great, we need to find more people. And then that's it. It doesn't go anywhere. So yeah, I don't know. There's one of the things I was talking to my boss about, is like, my boss is a metalhead too, so we get on well with that. And he's interested in like where I'm up to with music, and it's difficult finding a band because I don't, especially after Rainbow Death Ray, like I worked so hard on that and burned out, and I know that I can't help myself when I see something that needs to be done. If no one else is doing it, I'm going to do it just by default. Yeah, and then if someone's struggling to do something, I'm going to help by default as well, and end up taking on too many responsibilities. And that was part of my burnout with that. And so if, like, I know this about me, I tend to take on too much, and I just expect that of myself. And so yeah, with the next band, I need to be careful. I need to make sure it's what I want. Like, Rainbow Death Ray was fun at the time, but it's not really the music I wanted to be making. It was a little bit too bouncy. I guess because we went so electronic, especially not finding a drummer, it kind of made us go more electronic, and I was programming a lot of that stuff. And the way I program music, I guess, just ends up bouncy, even though that's not really the sound I was going for. And so, like, to have burned myself out for something that I wasn't 100% into, or like it's I want to burn out for the right project, if that makes sense. So I think that's why I'm being so much more careful with what bands I'll consider joining, what kinds of musicians I'll consider working with. And that seems to be a recipe for not doing anything, because it's so hard to find the right people. And so, like, there's talented musicians, but no one, like, if I was going to do music that wasn't quite what I want it to be, then I would want other musicians in the band to be doing more, so that I don't feel the pressure on myself to do everything that I see needs doing. But yeah, when I talk to like individual musicians, I very much get the sense that if I don't organize everything, it's not going to happen. They're just like, hey, I'm a bass player, or I'm a guitarist, I want to do the band thing. And if I'm not the one who starts organizing things, it doesn't go anywhere. Like, no one ever says, great, you're a singer, I'll go find some people. No one does that. They're like, I want to be in a band, and then they sort of like digitally stare at you expecting you to do everything. And like, I've started bands before. Rainbow Death Ray is the first one that actually did anything out of all the bands I started. It's a lot of work. And with me knowing how I am, if someone else starts a band and they take responsibility for stuff, I will help out with the things that I can do. But if I start a band and they don't offer, like, I end up doing everything. I don't want to be the person doing everything. At the bare minimum for joining a band, I need someone else to be able to write the music side of things, and write music that I like, that I want to be involved in. I don't mind doing the business side. Like, my brain is more maths. I can handle the finance. One of my jobs is finance. The other one's bonsai. Like, could you get any more different? I can do the business side. I can learn stuff. I can look up stuff. That's fine. It's just like, I'll write the vocals, but if you could write like the guitars or something, if you're organized on this, then since they pay you management fee. Oh dear. Well, I mean, like, with my two past bands, so Winter Gaunt and Rainbow Death Ray, I did take care of the finances. And then when Winter Gaunt broke up, I was like, so what do you guys want to do with the money? Because I was holding on to it and had it in a spreadsheet, how much have we had coming in, how much have we spent? And we ended up, like, after playing gigs, I mean, we all pitched in for the band prac space, but in terms of gigs, I'd take the money in and then balance it against our expenses for like printing posters or whatever we were organizing apart from band prac. And so at the end of it, they're like, I was like, okay, guys, so this is how much money we've got in the thing. What do you want to do with it? And they just let me keep it. And then with Rainbow Death Ray, it's kind of happened a similar way. Like, I was keeping the same sorts of spreadsheets of like money in, money out. And then I also kept a like $200 till as well, so that for when we had merch, we'd have change. I love things I learned in retail. Having change is important. Although in a post-COVID era, I'm probably going to have to get one of those apps where you can do money, take digital payments that way. I don't know how that's going to work if people don't use as much cash, but we'll figure something out, because I'm not in a band yet. I don't need it yet. When I need to know it, I will look it up. But yeah, with Rainbow Death Ray, so I've still, at some point I did stop keeping track of things in the spreadsheet. We've made a few sales since I stopped keeping track, from like Bandcamp type stuff. But then at the same time, I've also been keeping our website up. Our website hosting is like in the same account as my own website account. So I sort of like think of it as halving the fee, the yearly fee, and then blah, 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 blah. But I haven't been keeping track of it. So I guess that money in a way is mine, because no one's going to come after me for it. That's one of the reasons Rainbow Death Ray couldn't keep going after I got sick. Like I said, you guys can keep going without me, but I think because I was doing so much, it just wouldn't have happened. Like, even the music, like the programming and so on, yeah, it's got me all over it. So yeah, in a way, it's not really the same as paying me, but I did get to keep like the coins we had left over. So that's about the closest we got to that. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the reasons I've sort of had a go at doing things solo, because if I'm going to be doing all the work anyway, or the bulk of the work anyway, like even writing the songs and so on, I might as well just be on my own. Like, the only thing that I couldn't program myself, and the reason I did Rainbow Death Ray rather than being solo, is I couldn't do the guitars. Like, I can sort of play guitar, but not very well. And I don't know, having a recorded guitar is a bit different to having it live on stage. So I was like, well, I'll do the band thing. But if I don't need guitars, then I can just do my solo stuff. And I don't know, some of you guys will have seen, like, at Chicks with Picks, I'd get up and just do the solo thing. Chicks with Picks, like, it's not like a heavy scene or anything, so I'm always the odd person out. Like, it's usually acoustic or your traditional singer-songwriters. And then I come up with my electro tracks and my growling, and everyone's like, what's this then? It's fun in a way, but it's also weird because it's not my scene in a way. So like, I like going there because they're very accepting of like everyone, including me and my crazy music. But I do sort of miss being in a heavier environment. And And I also miss the vibe of the band. Like, as a soloist, you have to carry the entire performance. There's nothing else to look at, really. At best, you could have a light show, maybe, but I don't have the energy for that. So it's just me on stage, putting on the performance and so on. If you have a band, there's a bit more going on stage, so there's less pressure on you. And then there's just that vibe, like having real drums, real guitars there and all that. It's different and I miss it. And then the types of music that you can do in a band. If I can find the right guitarist, then that opens up doors to stuff that I can't write myself. I just have to find the right guitarist. And one of the other problems I'm having finding a band is, like, I'll find individual musicians and then they're like, we should jam, or like, if we find more people, let's jam. And I don't want to jam because, like, when I was playing violin, not such a problem because I could just join in on the violin. But when it comes to, like, having a more traditional band and me being just the singer, because I mean, the violin, I'm out of practice for one thing, but I think ever since I finished all my orthodontic treatment, like it having the chin rest, maybe it's my technique or something, but I feel like my jaw has changed and I get jaw pain if I hold the violin for too long. So and then it interferes with doing the front person thing because then you have to pick up the violin and it's too much. So I just want to be a singer. And if that's the case, then when people are jamming, they kind of just noodle around on the guitar and the drums and the bass and so on. And with heavy metal, like, heavy metal's more structured than some other forms of music. Like, if you're going to do blues, very predictable. And if I was any good at improvising for blues, I'd be able to do something over that. Or like jazz or whatever. You tend to have structures and ways that things are done. But with metal, like, depending on what style of metal, it can be very precise and all that. And I kind of need to know what they're going to play before I can put my vocals in and have it fit rhythmically and all that kind of stuff. And so I don't want to jam because if they're noodling around trying to figure out stuff out, I just stand around doing nothing. Have you seen Aliona Vargas videos? No, I haven't. Am I able to copy that and search it? Let's just copy so I don't fuck up my live stream. Oh, that's a guitarist of some kind. I'll leave that window open so I can check it out later. No, I haven't seen those videos. I don't really watch a whole lot of YouTube. I was for a while. Like, I go through phases, I think. I'll find a channel and I'll watch it for a while and I'll be right into it, and then I'll sort of fade off again, especially when I get busy. Like, my life's starting to get a little bit busy now, and then the preoccupation of trying to work out the monetization thing and just other things going on in life, catching up on all my appointments that I had put off. Yeah, no, so I don't think I watched the last Mel and Baker one, and his was probably the channel that I was keeping an eye on the most. Like, I started watching it, but I was just like, oh, it's more COVID in the UK, more American politics and stuff, and I'm kind of just like, I've had enough of it for the moment. Just didn't have the concentration span, especially not sleeping well. So I didn't catch up with that. But hey, whatever. So what am I watching? I'm really only watching Angel at the moment. But yeah, anyway, so with bands, the jamming thing, it's not fun. And the last band that I joined, the last practice I went with them, like, we'd had that huge break because of COVID, and then we had the practice. And in the COVID period where we weren't actually physically meeting, we had written a new song. But when we went to, when we were in the rehearsal room, like, no, only me and the guy who wrote it, like, wrote the guitar parts. We were like the only ones who'd really practiced it. And so then they're spending ages trying to learn everything, and I was pretty much just sitting there. And it's a bit like that. I mean, that was a case of people not practicing, and I don't like that, really. I mean, I know COVID's been disruptive for people, so there's that. But it sort of gives you an idea of what it's like to just be a singer, because while everyone's working out stuff, what do? Just stand in a corner. And this is the thing where I've started a lot of bands in the past, a lot of failed bands plus Rainbow Death Ray. And often it's like that, like you just jam for ages. And when you're jamming, there's no guarantee you're actually going to produce any music because people improvise and then they forget what they did. And unless you're recording it and remembering which bits are good, it's a really inefficient way to write music, at least in my experience. Maybe if people are experienced at turning jamming into like actual songs, it'll work out. Like I imagine some bigger bands, like more well-known, very skilled bands would be able to do that. But the musicians I've been around haven't really done that, and that's why I prefer the thing where like with Rainbow Death Ray, I had the songs pretty much written before I brought them to the band. There was like one song we sort of co-wrote a little bit, that was mainly me and the guitarist, but everything else either me or one of the girls wrote it outside band prac, send it to people, we workshop it during practice, and then you just use your time a lot better than if you're just standing around randomly strumming on a guitar hoping something works. But a lot of these musicians who contact me to be in a band, they just want to jam, and I'm like, great, you guys go start a band, you guys jam, and when there's something worth me being there that I can actually put vocals on, then I'll turn up. That works better for me. That's why I want to join an existing band, because they'll actually have something for me to work with instead of me having to start a band, gather musicians, because it will be me gathering the musicians. No one else has shown any initiative to get things going. And that to me is a real turnoff, because then I know they're not going to show initiative on anything else really. If they can't even get that first thing of putting together something, it's frustrating. There's definitely people I want to work with, but they just, it's up to me to do stuff, and I don't have the energy for that kind of pressure. She's a really good guitarist, unique style, but she's also made an album with really technical stuff she wrote herself. Collab. Oh, okay. I'm not sure how I feel about collabs though, because like I want to be on stage in person, and so if people don't live close to me, that doesn't really help. I don't know where she's from. People are making noises. So while people are making noises, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And when we come back, hopefully they'll have finished whatever they're doing. So I need to have like a be right back thing, but I don't have a be right back thing, but I will be right back. Not in a bear costume. I'll go and refill this too. Good night. Hey, Hopi. Did someone let you in, kiddo? Hey, Hopi. Oh, I won't disturb you. I want to show you to everyone, but oh, kiss, kiss, kiss. Good boy. Oh, he's so cute. Anyway, Yeah, so someone let my dog in. Where were we? So, yeah, finding a band, difficult. Um, yeah. So if I was going to start a band from scratch, I think ideally I need to find a guitarist who can write music. Um, and something I can get into, and then we can like potentially sort of collab online for a bit to write the music, and then find all the musicians we need to fill it out, and then have practice and hello, focus on my face camera. um, yeah, and then sort of go from there. So instead of wasting time in a rehearsal room, because rehearsal rooms cost money unless you have people, like unless people have a space, or like I used to have the uni space for free. um yeah, I don't like wasting that time. Like if I'm going to be at band prac, don't waste my time. Basically, like learn the stuff, have things written, let's workshop rather than just aimlessly hope that music will appear in a form that we can repeat. um I don't want to be a manager though. I want to be in the band, I want to be on stage. um so like yes, I can do management stuff, but that doesn't mean I want to. It's a bit like I was good at maths in school. That doesn't mean I wanted to do maths. I just did it because it was expected of me. 4 unit maths wasn't too bad. There was like we had two teachers, and one of them was pretty good at making things entertaining to a degree. And then I think the level of challenge was right. Like you want things to be not too hard and not too easy, like just the right level of challenge. And I think that was that. But other than that, that's the closest I ever got to thinking maths was okay. Other times, like, some of it was too easy and I get bored. And then some of it, you're just like, why are you torturing my brain with this stuff? Like when I went to uni, people lied. They're like, maths is better when you're at uni. It's not. I don't understand who would think that. It was terrible. It was the same old boring crap. But anyway, no, I want to be the manager. I want to be in the band. I've just got to find the right people to do it with, and then I don't mind doing management stuff on the side for the band. But I don't want to just be a band manager. To me, that's not what I spent however many years learning to sing for. Um, well, it doesn't interest me at all. Doesn't interest me. Like if I want to meet more people, I should just go to more gigs and talk to the bands there. I mean, kind of hard to do now because there's not much going on, and all the COVID restrictions and so on. But like there's other ways to meet people, and then there's the Facebook groups and so on. Um, yeah. Being a manager, like, what? I meet people, I say, I'm a band manager, and then they're like, oh, can you manage us? That's how I imagine that conversation going. It's not, oh, can you sing for us? It's, oh, can you do management for us? Um, I don't think that's a good strategy to find myself a band. Um, yeah, no, like sort of been toying with the idea of approaching some musicians I know, like some friends, and being like, "Hey, are you interested in a thing?" But if they don't write music and I've approached them, and then they might get an expectation that I'm going to do something, balancing the pressure with what I want is difficult. Like if I to some extent, if you want something done at all, you need to do it yourself. But I need to make sure I do it in a way that I'm not going to burn out, and that brings in limitations. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm having enough trouble writing any solo stuff. I haven't touched any solo music all year, I think, because this year has been insane. Like I started off the year wanting to do stuff. Hey, welcome. Hello, Danny. Yeah, I'm back in the YouTube partner program. I can put ads and stuff. Woo! Um and yeah, we're just talking about bands and, struggling to find one. I think like, Sydney's scene is a bit tricky, like especially when they had all those lockout laws. I can't even get all the lock things right. I think a lot of people went to Melbourne, and now they're all stuck there. I think things are getting better in Melbourne, though. Things are slowly starting to open up, but there were people who said you should move to Melbourne for music, and I'm kind of, I'm glad I didn't. I mean, apart from like, I have a reasonably comfortable life here. Um, Apart from that, the whole situation with COVID makes me think, yeah, I'm glad I stayed in Sydney. Sydney's a easier place to be than Melbourne. Yeah, gosh, I think it's like one of the they were saying on the news it's like one of the hardest lockdowns, like longest lockdowns anywhere with that degree of restrictions and so on. I'm like, holy crap. And it makes you wonder, like, how did it get so bad? But on the other hand, what we consider bad in Australia for COVID is a lot less than what some of the European countries are experiencing. So, hey, but I guess it's all to do with, the rest of Australia has had low numbers. If Victoria wants to join the rest of Australia, they kind of have to get the numbers down. So, yeah, because we don't want it spreading across Australia. So, tricky, tricky, but it seems to be coming good. And it's just a matter of making sure it stays good. Oh God, all the politics, like, things are getting back to normal when politics goes back to normal, like all around the country and federal, state level, it's all back to more bickering and so on. Whereas, like, when things were first going down, um, it seemed a bit more like people were like, oh shit, this is serious. Let's not bicker too much. Let's actually get things done. 7-day average is 2.7. Oh, yeah, I'm not up to date with today's because I was at Bonsai. I haven't had a chance to look at all the numbers. But yeah, no, 7-day average. Oh, but they're looking at 14-day average for the restriction, like the next easing goal or whatever. Yeah, right. So but it's getting there. That's a positive. Maybe in the next week or so it'll be low enough if it stays that low. So yeah. Um gosh, it feels like ages. I can't even keep up with how things have been going, and oh man. Oh man. But I've kind of like, I might as well be in Victoria in some ways because I haven't really been doing much, have I? I've just sort of been sitting around at home doing what I do. Although bonsai, like, I get out of the house for that. Um, take the dog for a walk. Uh, yeah, no, that's a pretty boring year. And then there's so many things that have gone wrong for me in so many different ways. I can't even keep up anymore. But at least some things have gone right, like YPP getting remonetized. That was an unexpected thing. Yeah, so yay for that. But in terms of balancing out my year, there's just been so many things. Oh my god. But hey, I'm sort of like 2020 for me is a write off. I sort of feel like I keep thinking, like, okay, maybe at some point I just have to bite the bullet and start a band myself and like write the stuff myself and whatever. But I feel like this year it's just not going to happen. Maybe it's a next year goal. I invented social distancing. Well, have you seen those? Like, there's memes about like introverts making fun of extroverts who are just experiencing the whole thing of staying home all the time for the first time. I still want to know this thing. We'll find out about this thing. What will happen instead of uh oh. Oh, that's next week. Yeah. No, so some people keep asking me about Hallow Scream. I didn't get in. Um yeah, no, the thing I posted about on Facebook next week, hopefully. That's actually the video I mentioned earlier in the stream. I don't even know at what point, but one of the things that I need to work on over the weekend is this video that's relevant to what's happening instead of Hallow Scream. Is not getting into Hallow Scream, kind of a mixed blessing, because like it would have been fun to do again, but on the other hand, there's things like, they do have to do the social distancing thing. So scaring people from 1.5 meters away, bit of a challenge. The mazes have had to be redesigned. And then, like, even with all the precautions, there's still a risk. And with my family, I don't want to be the one who brings it home. So there's that. But also, like, there are some things I can do with my life that I wouldn't have been able to do if I was setting aside all my time and energy for Hallow Scream instead. So hopefully next week I can show you what's going on with that. Because I'm excited, and yeah, but I don't want to say yet because it'd be more fun if we just do the thing. But I have a few video ideas, and then, oh my god, and then there's the other, everywhere I look, like, I've got all these little notes everywhere, and I'm like, here's another video idea, and now it's starting to get a little bit like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get onto these, so we'll see how we go and what videos I post, and whether I can even get things done at the times that I want them to be done. Um, it's funny, like I have so much time to do nothing, but I also feel like I've got so much that I always have to do, and it's like just balancing it in my head. I don't know. I don't know. I think like I need the downtime to just do nothing to recharge myself. And maybe that's why I feel like I never have enough time. Like if you took like how many things I actually need to do versus how much time I have, it would be fine. Except I need all these rest breaks. Although tomorrow I'm doing okay because bonsai wasn't as full on today. But we'll see how I wake up tomorrow, because sometimes, especially when I've been live streaming and I get a little bit animated, I think I'm doing okay, and then I go to bed and then I'm like, oh wow, I'm actually like, yeah, I'm dead at this point, and then dead the next day. But we'll see how I am tomorrow. Um, Maybe I'll get through a few more of the things that I need to do. And there's like stuff that I filmed last year and the year before that I still haven't edited together. Oh, so that'll be weird because I always feel weird about older videos. And that's another thing about like if I go back and monetize my videos and I feel like I have to watch them to make sure that they're eligible for monetization and they're not going to get me, you know, have the YouTube gods go, Guru, you shouldn't have clicked the monetize button. If I have to watch myself over like 10 or more years of me being me, except like now it doesn't feel like me. I feel like the way I change over time, I just, yeah, like I know I am the same person and I remember doing the things. It just feels different, um just because of how much I've changed. Just check the videos that are still getting views. Yeah, well, the first one that I'm planning to monetize is the Alienware one. I like towards the start of the stream, I think I was going on about this, is uh because Alienware, I get a lot of troll people coming through, especially now that it's not a current computer. Like I don't think it's even sold in America anymore. The R8 model. They pulled it out of the Australian market, I think, towards the beginning of the year, but it was still being sold in America. So I got a bunch of views while people were like, "Oh, should we buy this cheaper, older computer?" But that's gone now. And then like my graphics card has been superseded. Is that the right word? By the 3080, which has come out. So yeah, my computer is less relevant, and as a result, the proportion of people coming to watch the video has shifted very much towards the people who hate Alienware and have to tell someone about it. And so they come to my video and they complain and they're like, why didn't you get that? You wasted your money, blah, 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 blah. You should have bought a bear costume. No one has actually said that, but that's what I imagine in my head. So if people are coming to my video purely to have a whinge, I'm going to make it difficult for them. I will put unskippable ads on it, and if they see it, well, boo-hoo. Because they give you like options, what kinds of ads do you want? And I think on like videos where I actually, where it's just us, like me and you guys, my regular viewers, like for new videos and all that, when it's just us, it's not something that's going to have wide appeal. Like if I put ads on, I'm not going to put the most intrusive ones. I mean, I need to experiment a bit because there's like options that I don't remember. And how do you actually get things to work and whatever. But yeah, I don't want to annoy my core group, but I do want to annoy the trolls. So I'll go back and find the ones that I'm being trolled on the most, and I'll put the most annoying ads possible on it just to, get them back a little bit. If you're going to come here just to complain, you can watch a bloody annoying long ad. But yeah, no, it's sort of a conflict for me because in the past I only put those little pop-up ads. I didn't put the ones that play before the video or like mid-roll ads that appear in the middle of the video and all that kind of stuff. And the reason, like, because I don't like watching those ones that you have to wait 5 seconds to skip, and I don't like mid-roll ads and all that, it puts me off watching stuff. So I feel like if I put that on my video, like I'm kind of doing exactly what annoys me. But on the other hand, like I'm sort of thinking about what do I want to do with YouTube and so on. And I would like to do more YouTube because it's a good hobby and so on. And I'm saying and so on too much. Every now and then, my brain gets stuck into like a verbal kind of thing, and I keep saying the same things over and over. So I'm sorry that that's the one that I happen to be on. If you're getting paid for it, then I wouldn't get annoyed. Yeah, you guys are so great because every time I've raised that, you guys are like, I don't mind watching ads, and yeah, that's really good to know. Like, I'm glad you guys aren't annoyed, but I guess it's just from a personal consistency point of view. Is I'm like, do I really want to put these annoying ads on my videos, and do I really want to be associated with all that kind of stuff? And so it's like my own that. And then also, I think it comes back to my reluctance to ask for help. Like, one of the reasons it took me so long to stabilize my life is I felt like I always had to be doing everything for myself. Like, it comes back to this band thing, as I was saying before. If I see something that needs to be done or something that someone's struggling with, I tend to take the responsibility onto myself. And so rather than asking for people for help, like with Rainbow Death Ray, the girls mostly would have been fine helping, but I found it hard to be like, I need help with this. And everything from like getting my parents help with school stuff, and then like with life, I was sort of like, I need to get a job, I need to be independent, and eventually be able to have my own place kind of thing. Like, I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. My mental health turns out, nope, I need to ask for help. I need to live with my parents. Better not to be alone with a brain like this and all the spasms it does. But yeah, and so when it comes to things like ads, in a way that's sort of asking you guys for help, like, please watch these ads so that I can get a little bit of coin from the YouTube gods. Because it's like asking for help, that's difficult. I mean, like with Patreon's similar. Like, it's like asking for help as well. And oh my God, I've got a Patreon story, but I'll continue this stream of thought before I get to that. Patreon was a bit like asking for help as well. But what actually made me launch the Patreon is like, I had set it up, and then I would think I was trying to do a preview and I accidentally launched it. I don't think there is a preview button. It just launched, and I was like, well, I guess I have a Patreon now. And I put it out there, and a bunch of you guys like signed up straight away, and you've been my like most consistent Patreon supporters. And that's like amazing. Giving us the opportunity to support you rather than asking for help. Yeah, I think that's how a lot of you guys see it, is like, you want to help me. And I guess like, I think just because I have that natural tendency to think that I always have to do everything for myself, it took me, it's hard for me to get my head around the idea that people do want to help me. Like, I if that makes any sense. Like, it's just how I am, is I tend to expect that people aren't going to. I wonder, like, psychologically, it may come down to a little bit of like having a disabled brother, because like I was the oldest, so oldest is the most responsibility. But then you have a disabled brother who needs a lot of care, so the whole family is like, we basically like, a lot of our lives revolve around caring for the disabled person. And maybe that's part of it, is like, because my parents are busy looking after my youngest brother, maybe I felt like I've got to do more of this stuff for myself, and I shouldn't ask for help because here's someone who needs it more. Maybe it's a bit like that. If we go into the deep diving of psychoanalysis or whatever it is, maybe that's some of it, like, how I ended up feeling like I shouldn't be asking for help or whatever. Yeah, I'm better at it these days though. But yeah, I don't consider it helping, you, more like supporting. Like, if I buy merch from a band, I don't consider me helping them, but voting with my wallet to say more like this, please. Yeah. I like, see, like, even my language, I think, sort of gives you an insight into my psychology on it and why it's so difficult. But yeah, no, it's good to know that you guys are supportive and happy with that. And yeah, I think, like, for myself, I'm probably not going to put unskippable ads everywhere. Those are the most extreme ones, but I guess we'll see how things go. Maybe if I'm really proud of a video, or maybe like I launch the video with the ads that I'm happy with, and then once it's past like that initial thing, maybe I chuck more hardcore ads on it. Maybe that's a way that I manage like my psychology with that, because like, but I am trying to get my head around like I should put ads on my videos, because if I can, if YouTube can become more of a thing that's like worth me doing, then I can spend more time on YouTube and I can set up better for it. Like, you know, getting a better camera, getting a better lighting instead of this dodgy little thing. Yeah, if like, I mean, I'm not a normal YouTuber by today's standards. Like, I'm still more of that old school, just vlog about whatever kind of YouTuber. I don't have a particular mission statement or strategy or anything. I just sort of make the videos that I feel like making. I don't have a particular topic, or a particular niche. Like, you know, there's channels for just about everything. If there is a niche, it's just me and the stuff that goes on in my head in my life. So I'm never going to be like one of the, like, you know, those huge channels that have this full-on production line thing going on and it's like flawless quality and all this kind of stuff. But if I could do more, you know, because I mean, I think some of my videos like help some people and are also entertaining to some people. And I mean, to me, it's surprising because I started YouTube just for my own vlogging, so I could remember what I'm on about, trying to do like a diary that has some public accountability, so I'm less inclined to delete it. I still deleted a bunch anyway, but more stuff has stayed up here than in any of my paper diaries ever, so it kind of did its thing. And I guess that, like, you know, realizing that it's not just me talking to me and it's me talking to the world and whoever's watching me, it's interesting how YouTube has gone. And it is kind of like, it's a fun hobby. It's something that I do. And I don't know, I do enjoy making videos. So if I can find ways to make it more sustainable and, you know, have more of a motivation to make it better, yeah, if the monetization thing works out, then that's good. Because also, like, here we go into like money stuff. So I have two casual jobs. One is the work from home finance, one is the bonsai job. I might be able to pick up a few more hours at bonsai and all that, but your topic is you. Yeah. With that though, so if you guys remember when I was depressed and I wasn't working, I was on Centrelink, and it was really difficult because they didn't understand my mental health at all. They just made me feel worse. And I think I did like some midnight video where I was just like having a breakdown over it. And eventually, like, I told them to get lost. I, you know, buggered off to Japan and just stayed away for a month, completely changed my situation, got away from them. And when I came home, I was better again. So, like, you know, I was sort of like, I don't want to do Centrelink because they're so bad for my mental health. With COVID though, like, I signed up initially because I thought, like, at the time when all the restrictions hit, it did look like I was going to lose hours at bonsai and in the finance job. But actually that ended up going okay. I mean, I ended up with JobKeeper, which is a lot more money than I would usually make, which really helped with Hope's vet bills, which is still ongoing, but it's chilled out now that he doesn't have to go back so often. But JobKeeper's ended, and I kept JobSeeker open because what happened? So they, with JobSeeker, so JobKeeper had an overlap. I didn't know I was going to get JobKeeper, so I had already been getting JobSeeker, and then I got JobKeeper backdated. So I wrote into, like, you try and call the number, it's impossible to get through. So what I used to do when I was depressed and all that is I would file a complaint, and then they have to call you. And so that's what I did, is like, I think I've been overpaid. I would like to pay my debt to Centrelink. I'm pretty sure you've overpaid me because this is backdated and the instructions weren't clear on how to sort that out, and whatever. But the other thing they did is they sent me a pensioner concession card, and I was just like, I didn't ask for this. Like, when I was depressed, I was actually in the like illness and the disability program or whatever. So it made sense that they gave me the pension card then, because I actually couldn't work. I was really fucked up. But this time, I signed up to Centrelink as just like someone at risk of losing my job, already on low hours, about to lose even more hours. And to get a pensioner card, I was just like, they've made some kind of mistake. So as well as in my complaint, as well as saying, hey, I've been overpaid, can I please pay back my debt now before it becomes a problem? Because, they've had that robo debt thing. For you guys who are in Australia and know about robo debt, they've had that. And I don't want them chasing me in like however many years' time when I've forgotten about it. I want to pay off the debt now. I don't like being in debt. The only debt that I have is my student debt with the government, which I don't have to pay until I make a certain amount of money, which at this point, it looks like I'll never make that much money. So good luck to them. Yeah, but like, I just don't like being in debt. So the government one, that's fine because it almost doesn't exist. But the Centrelink one, they will chase me at some point. So I was like, I would like to pay you now. Hey, Centrelink, I want to pay you. And so I sent them that and said, by the way, you guys gave me this card by mistake. What do I do? It took them a long time to get back to me, but eventually they did. They called me on a day that I told them not to call me. But hey, it got escalated, I think, because it was a bit complicated and they weren't sure what to do with it, and whoever was there didn't know that they weren't supposed to call me that day. But anyway, what happened with that, they said they're not going to raise the debt yet because I guess with COVID, people doing it tough, they're not going to start chasing people for money. And then also robo debt is currently going through, or at the time was going through, a thing where they're sorting out who they need to pay money back to because they unfairly hit them with a debt that didn't really exist. So they weren't raising the debt at the moment. And I think they said between $400 and $500 I owe back to Centrelink. But at the same time, she's like, actually, your pensioner card is legit because when you were on Centrelink the first time, you did the employment assessment. I don't remember what it's called, but because like I was so depressed and messed up, they had a psychologist talk to me and assess me. And at the time, they put me down as being capable of working 20 hours a week, I think, which when my medical exemption ended, like they gave me a medical exemption, but at the end of that, they said, and now you can work 20 hours a week. And I was not at that point. That's why I got off Centrelink. I was like, keep your money. I would rather work on my mental health. I'll just like, I'll do what I have to. My parents were very supportive. So phew. Yeah, it was a rough time. But I got off because I was just like, I can't work 20 hours a week. And if you guys harass me to look for jobs for 20 hours a week, I will like, it was not a good time. And while I was in Japan, apparently they called mum because I'd listed her as my person to deal with because I just wasn't capable of dealing with them anymore. And apparently while I was away, they called her and we're like, we're going to cut off her payment, blah, 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 blah. And mum was like, if anything happens to her, I am going to sue you. I didn't even know this happened. Like I only found it in the last few months, maybe, that mum had said this to them because she was worried that I guess that I would hurt myself. Yeah, so that was pretty extreme. Anyway, so I had that psych assessment or whatever, and they said 20 hours is the maximum I can be asked to work by the system, I guess. And that was that. Turns out that assessment is permanent. So Centrelink think I'm permanently messed up, can only work 20 hours a week. I don't know if I've told you guys this story before, but that's what they think. And that's why I have the pension card still, because they think I'm still fucked up. And technically, the only time I worked more than 20 hours in a week would have been last year's Hello Scream. Like I didn't do my other jobs. I think I took a break from that and just did Hello Scream. And 1 week, I think it made it over 20 hours. And that's the only time in the past, like since that assessment in 3 years, maybe. Yeah, and I am still mentally messed up. Like, I don't have depression at the moment, but there might be something else wrong with me because psychologically I feel like I'm still not 100% in a lot of ways. Like I'm doing fine now. I don't feel like offing myself, but I don't feel like I'm properly a part of society either. So now I think the 20 hours a week is a much more reasonable assessment of like how much I might be able to work. I haven't reached that. I do what, 7.5 a week at Bonsai. Might get a few more next month, a few more hours. But I can only really do 1 day a week, like one full day a week, because I'm so broken at the end of it that I need the whole Thursday to recover. So I'm going to try doing like some half days in November, because it's been so busy, especially with spring, everything growing like crazy. And yeah, it's been busy. With the finance job, I probably do an average of maybe 4 to 5 hours a week. It's sort of just like as needed. I just log in an hour here, an hour there. I get to choose my own hours basically, and just do what I need to do and log it. Yeah, so on average, maybe working about 12 hours a week or so. I don't know. So 20, like, that feels like enough of a goal. I don't think I'm ever going to work full time. But if I can get YouTube happening and make YouTube my job, or like more than just pocket money, that might be the only way that I can be anything close to like normally employed, like working normal hours or even like more part-time hours. That might be like, one of the things with jobs is like retail. When I was doing print retail, that was fine. Like I got to work with big printing machines and they're fun and all that. It's just like upper management ruins everything because they don't understand what it's like to be on the floor actually dealing with stuff. And I probably am smarter than half of them as well. And so like, you're dealing with idiots who just like, if you were more mentally stable, you could do their jobs blindfolded, basically. That kind of feeling. And then like just they get these weird ideas that don't fit for like the situation, and it's just like we had to get someone at the front who just says hello to people, and if they didn't have someone saying hello and one of those upper management people worked in, like the store manager could get fired. People could just randomly get fired for not having someone standing there saying hello. Even if you had people queuing for ages to pay for their stuff, you still have to have that one random person who just says hello to everyone instead of jumping on a counter and actually helping process sales. It was really dumb for a while there. They loosened up, I think, later, but it was just like, how could anyone logically think that was going to work? God, it was a real mess. And so like the job was okay. It was just like upper management. And yeah, bureaucracy. It's crap. And one of the nice things about working for a small business like Bonsai is I know my boss, and if I've got a problem, I can tell him about it and we can sort it out. Like he knows about my mental health problems, he knows about how hard it is for me to work more than a day, and so we're working on it. Like he wants me to work an extra, like anytime, any extra time I can work. And so that's where we're trying the half day. Also, before COVID, when my parents would go on cruises, because I've got a disabled brother, that ends up like I would take time off Bonsai so that I'd make sure I'm here and alert and able to step in if anything needs to be done. Like, very understanding. And then like, I mean, nothing really goes wrong at Bonsai, but if there was something, I could be like, hey, you're the boss, let's fix this, and it would be done. Whereas with like a big corporation, good luck asking anyone for help. Like you go to your manager. It depends. Like some managers are just incompetent, and I did have run-ins with management and had like some kind of disciplinary thing because I pointed out that things were not being done right, and they didn't like that I pointed that out. And it was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I think they wanted me to quit, but I didn't. And then instead of having me in the print section, they had me just doing the front counter. I think they thought I'd get bored, but I was like, the print section is so badly run without me there. I would rather just be doing the counter. Oh, you have a problem in the print section? Sorry, can't help you. Management wants me to stay here, Does even Bonsai wear you out because of the social interaction? No, it's not the social interaction with Bonsai. So Bonsai, I don't do the retail. Like occasionally I'll process a sale, but my job is just to like repot things, prune things. Like I am a nursery hand, not a sales assistant. And there's some things like with bonsai sales, because it's like an art thing, and like different plants need to be cared for differently. When there are bonsai sales, my boss does that, to make sure that the person buying it knows how to care it, knows that it's an outdoor plant, all those kinds of things. And also they do, like, I think the first service is free. So because we do bonsai maintenance, so the first service is usually free, and then they tell you like what's the schedule, all that kind of stuff. So I don't even do much of the sales, and the social interaction is really just me and my boss talking about whatever. Sometimes about metal, sometimes it's just about life stuff, sometimes politics, in a like friendly way. We don't really like, we've never really gotten aggro. Yeah, so that's fine. Like one-on-one as well, I can do one-on-one fine, as long as the person is not heaps clingy or whatever. Yeah, no, with bonsai, what wears me out is the physical side of things, because like sometimes I'm lifting pots that, like, there are some bonsai I cannot lift. Like, I know it's the art of small trees in pots and so on, but when they say small trees, if a tree could be like 4 meters tall, then even a 1 meter tree is considered small. So and there are some that are just huge and I can't lift them. I'm small. So it's lucky my boss can lift this stuff, because there are some that I just can't. And there are some that sometimes we have to do the 2-person on. It's just like, yeah. And then physically, like taking them out of pots and all that. And, sometimes it can be quite hard to get them out of the pots. And then sometimes with the pruning, like you're holding your arms in awkward angles, trying to get in and get, prune the right branches and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and then I think also post-depression, like after not doing retail, I was standing all day for 8 hours or whatever, that was fine, but coming out of that habit, a bit hard to get back into. I think physically I sort of deteriorated a bit because I was so depressed I didn't exercise as much. Yeah, so that's why bonsai wears me out. But no, back to the whole upper management thing. Okay, so small business is good. With my finance job, my dad is in the same company, so that's easy for me to like, and working from home is a lot easier, because I can have my heavy metal playing. So I'll be doing like finance, entering numbers while I'm like rocking out to something like, "Rah, yeah," just sort of singing along casually. It's probably the main singing practice I get most days. But yeah, no, those are great. And sorting out things with the bosses a lot easier. And like even with dad's company, the Australian branch is quite small. So yeah, much better than those big corporations where there's layers and layers of bureaucracy and bad decisions. So with that, like one of the things that I've thought about a lot is I kind of need to aim for self-employment at some point, because if I'm working for someone who's an idiot, I'm going to be like super like, no. Here's a bonsai situation with him. I was like crying. When I started the job, he's like, now you've got to make your Zen bonsai master face. And, we had fun with that. It's sort of relaxing in ways, but also like physically for me, hard work, because, I'm small. It doesn't matter how many weights I try and do. Being female, I don't have testosterone. I'm just like, look, it's too small. I don't put on weight. And so like there's nothing to turn into muscle. It's just like keeping me alive. I'm just never going to be particularly strong physically. It's just, yeah. So and then I guess though, like if I was doing it every day, maybe I'd get used to it. But I would be dead if I was doing it every day. So 1 day a week, maybe I exhaust myself too much on 1 day. But that's one of the reasons to try a half day and see how I go. And maybe I could build it up from there if they need the work. But it depends. It's kind of seasonal, like depending on what time of year and how much is growing and how much is going on. They don't necessarily need me. So we'll see. But yeah, this year, especially with JobKeeper, I started doing like every Wednesday instead of like every second Wednesday, or like on and off here and there. Yeah, but now that JobKeeper's finished, and we'll see what happens. But it sounds like I'm getting some extra work in November. One day as hard as your body doesn't get a chance to adapt. Yeah, I wonder about that. But we'll see. And really, like, yeah, back to upper management. Self-employment, I think, is a goal. So if I could just do YouTube, that would be amazing. Like if I had time to spend just making videos as a job, um, then I don't have to deal with an annoying boss. Like all I have to deal with is YouTube's various policy changes. But like I don't really do controversial politics, which I think is like one that a lot of people get frustrated with. Like they're constantly having to go figure that out. And like some of the politics guys, all they did was talk about COVID-19, demonetized all those videos, especially at the beginning. Now I think they've sort of opened up a little bit more. Because I guess there's more information on. I don't know, but yeah, there's some people. Some of those YouTubers are constantly chasing those policies because it's relevant. Whereas for me, I'm just sort of vlogging about whatever. And then you've got the huge channels who spend a lot of time looking at how to get the most clicks, the most views, the most watch time, because they're basically running an organization. So they're constantly keeping up with like algorithm changes, which I don't think I'm going to be affected much by things like algorithm changes and policy changes, because like I kind of don't give a shit. I just do what I do, and yay. I also do some casual physical work, the lab washroom, and to start feeling good, I need to be doing at least 3 half days a week or exercise on the off days. Yeah. Yeah, I think if I was going to do more bonsai, I would have to like gradually build it up. But no, I like being able to do lots of little jobs. Bonsai and then finance, and then I guess YouTube could become something resembling a job. Um, but yeah, no, if I could get to a point of being self-employed, and I feel like YouTube might be the most likely avenue to that, maybe. Um, yeah, it's hard to say, but it would be nice. Or if I find some other form of self-employment, I don't know. But that's something I've thought about. And so, yeah, that sort of changed my perspective a bit on ads. Like instead of just doing the ones that I think are least annoying, maybe I should try and take it a bit more seriously and put more ads. And yeah, yeah, I get bored. So having a mix stops me from getting bored, I think. Like when I used to just do one main job all the time, that was I guess you start feeling trapped after a while, especially like some of the jobs that I didn't enjoy, like the office job, um, at the same place that I do the finance for, but when I was actually working in the office, nothing ever really changed. And so like I found that like at the start when I was learning stuff, my brain had things to do. But as things went on, and I guess I was also depressed because my brain had less to work on. It was really hard, because then I had more time to think. Um, yeah, who's messaging me? Schedule would be a good idea. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't schedule my live streams. um, yeah, anyway, so YouTube ads and stuff. I'm gonna try and take it a little bit more seriously, because if I can get it working for me, then maybe I can do more YouTube. And like not feel guilty about it, not feel like why am I wasting my time making videos, being an idiot online. Um, yeah, if I can turn it into more of a thing, like a bigger part of my life in that sense, well, then I don't have to feel like I'm just being a crazy person on the internet. I mean, I'll always be a crazy person on the internet, but I might be a crazy person on the internet as a job. Anyway, no. So in terms of goals, maybe that. Would be nice to make some money off music as well, but like kind of need to have more going on, kind of need to have a band, and then, being in underground genres, that makes it difficult. Um, but yeah, no, I think at one point I was going to talk a bit more about the collab thing, and then I think I went to the bathroom. But with collabs, so I'm sort of open to collabs, but like more as a one-off, and I don't want to be writing a whole bunch of vocals for something if it's not really going to go anywhere. Yeah, it depends a bit on the situation, but like on Facebook for my friends, I said I'll do guest vocals for you as long as you've written the vocal part. Because like I did have someone, I recorded vocals for someone, and I haven't heard anything about it since. Like I did Fireland, and Fireland were really good. They were very organized, and they released the album, and there I am in the public. I did Fireland's. I think the song was it Banished. I am on their record, and it got me into the Encyclopedia Metallum or whatever it is. But I recorded some vocals for another friend, and I don't know, like maybe the band hasn't worked out or whatever, but it's just sort of, yeah, I recorded it. Don't know if they're going to use it. Don't know if the song will ever come out. One of the ideas was like, I think they're from Canberra, and if they come to Sydney, I could go and jump on stage just for that song to sing that bit. But yeah, I haven't heard anything since, so I don't know what's going on with that. Fireland, yeah, they did a really good job with that. I think it's like all their own stuff. Like they do most of the mixing, and I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, they were really good because I think like there's one guy in America and one guy in the UK, and it's sort of like an international kind of effort. So yeah, that was interesting, and they were really organized. I was really happy with that. Like finding organized musicians is amazing because there's not many of them. But yeah, no, with the other one that I recorded for, I don't think I posted that on Patreon, did I? Maybe I will at some point. I've also got some other stuff, some other unreleased music that will like never be released to put on Patreon. I just need to sit down and actually do it. Yeah, like a band I auditioned for, and I wrote some extra music. But okay, so with the collabs, right? The stuff that I recorded for that guy, if I had written the vocals myself and then the music wasn't released, that's like my effort feels wasted. And especially if I don't know whether it will eventually come out, whether I can reclaim my lyrics and so on. That's one of the reasons that I don't really want to do a collab where I have to write the stuff. I'd rather be me writing for like a band or my own music. I don't want my lyrics and stuff to go to waste. I mean, I guess nothing really goes to waste because I put a lot of stuff on Patreon if it's not going to be released. But like, yeah, it doesn't feel good putting in the effort for nothing to happen. And so, you know, I sort of minimize that by just recording the vocals, not writing them. So Fireland wrote the vocals and sent them to me, and they're like, can you do this? And I wasn't sure that I could. We had some back and forth, but then I tried it and I was like, actually, I can do this. So they actually helped me with my vocals in a way by pushing the boundaries of what I thought I could do. So that project was really great all around. Like Fireland, fuck yeah. But yeah, no, with other projects, I really want to be in a band, so I want to focus my writing on being in a band or else my solo stuff. So yeah, with like, I guess with collabs, so the one thing I haven't talked about yet is AD Destroyer, which is a collab, but we were planning to perform live. It's just like that project has had so many setbacks. I mean, I was depressed when we recorded. I think I finished recording my parts in 2017. I think he wanted to re-record some stuff, and then he handles all the mixing and mastering and all that kind of stuff. So I was literally just the vocalist. Thought Fireland was one of your best in terms of production quality, but AD Destroy Titans of War ended up being one of my favorite songs. Yeah, I really love how the music turned out on that. It's just like it took so long to get there. I think like, you know, we were wanting to write a full set to be able to perform, but that ended up not happening. We do have another song. I don't know. I need to go through my Patreon stuff and figure out what I have and haven't put up. But yeah, we did write another song. I'm not a huge fan of it. I feel like I ruined it by adding my vocals. Like it was better as an instrumental. But yeah, no, with that, it sort of has just ended up being a collab. I don't know if we'll ever perform, and you know, he has a lot of stuff going on in his life and he's like the main person. I'm just the vocalist. I don't really do much. Like I've helped out with social media and I run the band camp. But yeah, so if shit's going on in his life, it doesn't really happen. And I think he's moving house at the moment, so or about to. So yeah, I don't know what's next with that. And yeah, so I finished my parts in 2017. It took 3 years for us to get to this point where we actually released it. And like even deciding on the band name was rough because we went through a few different ideas. But yeah, no, I think AD Destroyer works well because that's like our two different identities sort of smushed together. Goosebumps. Oh, I missed one. At first, I thought the mastering equalizing wasn't the best on the first song release, but then on the rest of the album, Times of One, one of give me goosebumps. And generally get music goosebumps. Yeah, no, some of the mastering, I think towards the end of it feels a bit different. But I kind of just wanted to get the music out there, so I prefer it to be out there to then to be perfect, and like that was him taking care of all the stuff, and like I don't see myself as good at mixing. That's why like I've always gotten someone else to do it for things I've released, either for Rainbow Death Ray or my solo stuff. He actually mastered my, I think, did he mix as well? Mix and mastered my solo stuff last time. I think the first song released a week early was the second song. Yeah, that was Pray to Demons. I think Pray to Demons is the most commercial one. That's why we released it as like the preview song and the first one that plays when you go to the page. Yeah, but yeah, no, blah blah collab. So what I really like about that project is he wrote the music, and then I can come in and do my vocals, and it's less stress and all that. And so if we were going to turn it into more of a gigging band, then maybe I end up doing more promo and finance or whatever, I don't know. That works well for me because I don't have to worry about the music doesn't come naturally to me in terms of like writing it. Like the solo project and Rainbow Death Ray, like yes, I can write music, but it's difficult and not really enjoyable. I think because like it's so hard to get a sound that I want, and like the sounds in my head, how do I turn them into something real? I haven't really gotten to that stage, and like I really should practice, but I'm reluctant to practice because it's just so much frustration. It's a bit like I think I've mentioned in the past why I don't really want to paint anymore, because like I don't enjoy the process. Like I sketch it out, it looks like crap, and then I spend the rest of the time stressing until it turns into something that actually looks kind of okay. I still see the imperfections, but when you look at it from a distance, it's actually okay. It's a bit the same with writing the music. Vocals are okay. I don't think I always hit the mark with vocals, but I do have more fun playing with it. So that's the part I want to focus on. Bedtime, good. Oh, yeah. Thank you for joining, and thank you for being my first super chat. Yay! Exciting. Yeah, we've got some firsts going on here. Yeah, no, so band stuff, that's tricky. Oh, and now my Patreon story before I forget, because like, wow, we've been going for 2 hours and I can feel my voice going, why are you still talking? But so with Patreon, right, a weird thing that happened to me recently, like just happened pretty much overnight. So about maybe 11 days ago, this guy turned up on my video about the 4 beeps error code for Dell, and he's like, oh, this video would have saved me so much money and blah 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 blah, like great video, blah blah. And then he goes and looks at some of my other videos and decides he likes what I do and all that, and said some more nice things, and then joined my Patreon. And I'm like, cool, new supporter. And then last night I couldn't sleep, so I was just on my phone and clicked on my Facebook notifications, and he sent me some really like gross messages just out of the blue. I don't know, and like seeming to take issue with me being Japanese. That was the only explicit thing. May have also like the message sort of resembled what I used to get when people found out I considered myself asexual, and they'd send like very sexual messages. I don't know what they're trying to achieve with that, but it seemed like that. So I don't know if he watched more of my content and found out that or what. But it's just like to go from this sort of like, oh, I really like the stuff you're doing, to these really like horrible messages and all that. And I was just like, and it was definitely the same account. Like it's not someone impersonating, because that account liked my page on the same day as signing up for everything else. And I was just like, why are people so like, what was he expecting me to do? So like, I don't know if he'll pop up somewhere and try and watch this live stream, but if he has been trying to comment on any more of my videos, well, I blocked him, didn't I? Which on YouTube, when you block someone, it becomes like a shadow ban. so they can comment stuff, but no one else can see it. It's a bit like when you comment on a channel that has like a filtering. So if you use a swear word that they've decided to filter out, you can still see your comment, but it's not actually approved for the rest of the world to see. Block. So yeah, I don't know if that person is still around, but they are blocked. So if they're trying to hurl abuse at me, they're just sort of talking to themselves. But yeah, I was just like, who does that? And I wonder if he thought that by signing up to my Patreon, maybe I would tolerate bullshit. And it's like, oh, your $1. I'm not going to tolerate bullshit for your $1. Like, don't try that stuff. If you're going to support me, like, support me for real. I have some great people supporting me on Patreon. I think at the moment I've got 5 patrons who've been there like since forever and been like really supportive and all that. And then some people only left Patreon because of COVID, and financially I realized people can't always be supporting. So yeah, but then you get someone like this who signs up, and I was just like, well, fuck you. So I didn't reply to his message. I just I think I chucked it in spam or whatever, got rid of it, blocked him from my personal profile, banned him from my Facebook page, blocked him on YouTube, deleted his original comments on that video because I was just like, well, this was all bullshit and lies. And then I also blocked him off Patreon. Patreon is the one place where when you block someone, it tells them because, obviously they're not going to keep paying once you've blocked. So he will have got that message that he's been blocked. And that's the end of that. It's just like, why are you so weird? What are you trying to achieve with that? Are you trying to upset me or something? Because like I just sit here going like, well, you've got issues, haven't you? So that's the thing that happened to me with Patreon. And basically, I don't need your money that much that I would tolerate you being an asshole like that. Very strange to like sign up to support someone and then leave messages like that. I can't even repeat it because I'm just like, that's gross. Yeah, people are weird. What can you do? Block them. And so that I slept well after that because I entertain myself. Anytime I have to block someone, quite often I'm having a giggle about how stupid they are. And so I was like, well, there you go. I had my fun because like blocking is sort of like the same as like disappearing someone, or like, they might as well be dead. I guess like people can always make new accounts, but you can just block them too. And one of the accounts was like, I think the YouTube account has been open since 2014. So you're not going to be able to, you're going to have to keep making a gazillion new accounts, getting new emails and whatever. And God knows, blocking gives you a feeling of power. Sorry. It's a bit like that. Was it you or Paper Vampire I was talking to about, no, I think it was Paper Vampire. What did I write? Because that was kind of fun. Yeah, so Paper Vampire said, good luck getting to sleep. And I said, after doing the digital equivalent of chopping both his heads off. But $1. So as far as giving you special rights. Yeah, like what was he thinking? I'm going to tolerate your bullshit for $1. I think he was from Britain, and now you can do different currencies, but not Aussie dollars. So it was like a British pound or something. I don't need that. I don't need that, and I'm not going to tolerate your bullshit. And like, even if you wanted to spend more money on me, I'm not going to take abuse. Like, what are you thinking? It's just like some people, you got to wonder what goes on in their heads, what kind of malfunction they have going on. I don't know, like, for a while I sort of considered like, okay, could he have been hacked? But he referenced the part about me being Japanese. I don't know if he realizes I'm only half Japanese, but yeah, he referenced me being Japanese. So like, there you go, being racist, huh? Racist, misogynistic with all the sex comments, and then with the sex comments, potentially aphobic, but I don't like to use that word because I don't like the ace community. So, but if you wanted to do all the phobes, there you go. $1 AUD real dollar. No, it's American dollars. I think Patreon is only American dollars, euros and British pound. Is this Britain still on the pound? It feels so outdated. Like, well, I think Australia used to have something similar. It's like, then there's that song, like, in come the dollars, in come the cents, replace the old currency of the shillings, pounds, and pence. And I only know that probably because maybe Dad would have sung it, or did we study it in school? Because I kind of remember the cartoon. Maybe we studied it in school. That was well before I was born that we got the Aussie dollar. Anyway, no, Patreon only uses the more hardcore currencies from around the world. There's only one time the Aussie dollar has been above the American dollar. But yeah, no. So yeah, one American dollar or one British pound or 1 euro. I'm not taking your shit for that. With Patreon, you can sign up like more than $1, but like $1 is like the minimum. So I have had people supporting me on higher levels. Like, I don't have tiers at the moment because I'm like, what would I even offer? Like, I'm a random who just makes random content. The stuff I post to Patreon is very random. Like, it's just like, hey guys, here's the thing I've been working on that I'm not ready to show the world, or here's me trying a thing that I don't know if it'll work, so I'll show you guys but no one else, just in case it fails, and then you guys are the only ones who saw me fail. Although sometimes I post my fails publicly anyway. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so I don't have tiers on Patreon. I've sort of been thinking maybe I just put joke tiers in, but just for a laugh, and we can talk about bear costumes and whatever. But no, you kind of just type in how much you want to support and all that. And, you know, if he wanted to try and manipulate me, he could have tried a greater amount. Although I think when I block him, I think I got to keep his money. Because, you know, I put in that he harassed me as the reason for blocking, and it doesn't say anything about refunds or anything. And I guess he signed up to support me, so I get to keep that dollar or whatever it was. Well, he paid $1 to harass me. Like, you know, it was weird as well because, like, most people, when they want to harass you, they will do it straight away, whereas this guy waited like 10 days before sending me such a douchey message. So many different dollars other than US. I like to call dollars. Well, there's the New Zealand dollar. At least we're doing better than that. It's always like, you know, a few cents different, but hey, gosh, there's some stuff. Like, I was thinking of buying those Cyberlocks from the UK, but the exchange rate is always so crazy, and so I'm just like, well, I don't know. Do I really, really want that? Maybe not. I gotta decide. And, you know, especially with postage being slow around the world thanks to COVID, because there's less planes flying and blah blah. Do I really want to be buying stuff from overseas? And I've got to like make up my mind so that I don't have to pay multiple times for shipping. I need to get everything I want in one go, and that's always hard for me to figure out. These other comments you show me were normal, like he was a big fan. Weird, yeah, like I know I feel like I have a split personality, but what the hell was this guy doing? And it seemed to be a genuine account, not someone hacking him. Because, like, every now and then I have received messages from people that were like inappropriate, and in the past sometimes I've called them out for it, and then they'll be like, I got hacked, and you know, like, it's bullshit, because if they really got hacked they wouldn't throw a tantrum and like run away. They'd apologize and be like, oh, sorry, here's what happened. They'd be reasonable instead of being defensive. Oh, I got hacked, you're just being sensitive, blah blah. Yeah. I didn't bother confronting this guy though, because I thought if I say anything, it just opens him up to send me more disgusting crap. And, you know, if you're going to be that insane, and then if you were hacked, like, it's 2020, people who were hacked like 20 years ago, I can understand because the internet was relatively new, not all phones locked, like, you know. But this day and age, you should be able to keep on top of that. And then the fact that he had the Japanese thing in there, that to me tipped off that it was him. What other excuses could he use? That he was drunk? But like, if you go out drunk driving and you hit someone, you're still at fault, and you shouldn't be drinking yourself that stupid, right? I don't know, like, or I don't know what his problem was. Maybe he found out that I was half Japanese, and maybe he's just racist. Or maybe like he was always planning to try and mess with me. I don't know. Oh shit. Was there another foot guy again or something? What did I miss? No, this is a guy who said some very positive things about my Dell video where I was fixing the 4 beeps error. And, about how it helped him. Like, he would have saved so much money if he'd watched my video first. And then he went and watched some of my other videos and was like, wow, you're amazing. I'm going to sign up to Patreon. So he signed up to Patreon for like the minimum. And then I didn't really hear anything for 10 days. I posted some stuff in Patreon Lenses, which is like the stories version of like Patreon's version of stories, and he watched some of them because I can see who watches those. I don't know if people realize that. I can see who's been watching, and then last night I found like this really disgusting message from him just out of the blue. Like, I didn't do anything, I didn't say anything. All of a sudden he's like, taking issue with me being Japanese, it seems. And it seemed like one of those messages I used to get when I was doing more asexual content, like way back, like 10 years ago. In my first round of YouTubing, I used to get some pretty gross messages. Like, YouTube used to have a private messaging function. And so there was some weird shit I got through that. It reminded me a lot of that, because sometimes when people find out you're asexual, they think they have to like fix you, and it gets very rapey. And then, or people think that just because you are that you're going to be so tortured if someone mentions sex to you. And I'm like, newsflash, the entire world is about sex. We already have to deal with it. Like, come on. And then also, like, I'm 32 years old. I've seen all these messages before. Your ridiculous little comment is just like meaningless blip. I'm just going to block you at this point. Like, I don't even wait anymore. I've become that kind of, like, I did stop and consider, because I'm like, wait a minute, this is that guy who said all that nice stuff. What's going on here? So I did have that pause. But like, like that last live stream when that foot guy asked me about my feet, he didn't even say anything disgusting. All he did was ask about my feet, and I'm like, you're gone. I know what you're about. I don't have patience for this. This guy was so much worse, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to block you off every platform. And if you turn up again, I'll just keep blocking you. Easy. and then I can sit there and cackle. Because, it is kind of fun when you block someone. You're like, take that, bitch. I got to try not to swear too much if I want to be monetized. But no, it's just like, I don't understand what they're trying to achieve. Like, are they that pathetic that that's how they need to boost their self-esteem? Or I don't know what it is. The feet people, yeah. Well, that's another thing I'll put ads on my glasses videos. Although there's the one where I have my respirator on and it's like making the funny noises. That one gets a lot of views. So I'm going to put ads on that, the most annoying ads I can. These are the videos I'm going to focus on. Like, out of my old content, the first ones I'm going to put ads on will be all the ones where people annoy me the most, and I will put the most annoying ads on them. Otherwise, it'll just be the newer content, it's just easy to keep up that way. Also, once I've put ads on the stuff where people come specifically to annoy me, or where I know there's shady stuff going on, once I've got all those sorted, then like I've got so many videos and some of them are quite long. So like, how am I going to manage putting ads on things? I mean, obviously I'm not going to put ads on everything. I think that would just time me out. But like, maybe if I did like one video a day or one video a week, or eventually I'd get them all sorted. And like, it's a good thing that YouTube isn't my living at this point, because Yeah, there's no urgency. I have no urgency to put ads up. But yeah, no. For me, the fun part of ads will be annoying people. Um, what should I do about the brown recluse spider in my room? Eat it. I don't know anything about brown recluse spider. Which one is that? Because usually we just get huntsman. A huntsman, a little, I think it was a huntsman. I only caught a glimpse of it, but a small one popped up under one of the trees I was working on today and just scuttled off. And that one gave me a bit of a fright because I didn't see it. And I was like, what's that? But it ran off and it's harmless. But brown recluse spider, let's see. Ooh, that one has a necrotic venom. I would stay away. But yeah, I don't really have any advice. Just like, I don't know, try not to panic. I don't know. I don't know. You could probably, I mean, you could spray it, I guess. Or if you know how to catch a spider, you know, my other brother Dave, he's very good at catching huntsmans and releasing them back into the garden. He just has, you know, he has the reflexes, and also, you know, I think I have that sort of like kind of reaction. Like, you know, I might try to catch it, but I'm gonna fail. So I'm just like, hey Dave, can you help me catch this spider? And then just leave him to it. I'll have to sleep in a shed tonight. Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, like if we look at Google, can a brown recluse spider kill you? Blah blah blah. Oh, tell an adult immediately. Well, that sucks if you're already an adult. Bites rarely kill people, but it's important to get medical attention as soon as you can because they can make you pretty sick. With an adult's help, wash the bite well with soap and water. I've obviously gotten onto the kids page with that. I don't know. Don't huntsmen jump like really aggressively? But they're harmless. They hunt insects. They like, maybe if they bit you, it wouldn't be fun. But they don't do anything. They keep the place clean. They get rid of the annoying bugs. So you know, I had one living under my bed for a while. I think I saw it a couple times. Ran across like one of my pillows or something. I was like, yeah, okay. Sleep in the shed or a car. I don't know, like we don't really have fly spray in this house because my brother's dog, the Labrador, he gets I like we don't he's a rescue dog, so we don't know what happened in his past, but every time he smells fly spray, he gets very upset, so we don't use fly spray or we try to avoid it. So yeah, I don't want to know what happened to him before we adopted him. The Mickey Shed. Yes, I started my live stream, I think, talking about this pajamas. I think my cousin from Japan got it for me. If the universe is infinite, then there must be infinite copies of me. Oh, well, if you're talking about like split timelines, although I suppose if the universe was infinite, then yeah, because you'd have like multiple permutations. But are they all really me? Like really you? Are they all really copies, or are they just like coincidental similar replications of you? I think donations and Patreon gets you more than ads. All you need is a following of a few hundred people, with some of them having money to spare. Well, like Patreon has done a lot. Like it's because like ads, you have to wait for ages for them to build up. But also, I think I shot myself in the foot by not having more full-on ads back in the day. Also, I got a bit confused because it turned out I had two AdSense accounts. I think because I had my music channel and they both got monetized, and I think maybe I got confused and made two accounts instead. So I thought I wasn't earning anything from YouTube, but maybe I'd linked it to a different account. So I got rid of the other account now. But yeah, so I don't actually know how much I ever made from YouTube, but I do feel like I made more from Patreon, and it does seem to be more reliable in some ways and all that. But you know, like extra pocket money through whatever route is still extra pocket money. And then there's plenty of people like, I think what the YouTube ads is good for is when you have like a hit video and these people aren't going to become your supporters, but they are going to enjoy the video. And so like the only way you can really capture any of that in a financial sense is by them watching an ad. So I think that's probably what YouTube ads are good for. Like I know, like, you talk about, like, whales, if you can get, like, a whale supporter, and then, that's a huge thing, but I feel like that's putting too many eggs in one basket if you're relying on one whale, and, like, what happens if they get bored and then move on, and then suddenly you have a huge chunk just disappear. So I guess, like, diversifying. Ooh, let's be all, like, fancy proper finance people. Let's diversify our income streams, or this is me trying to be finance. Anyway, so yeah, Patreon, like, I think I prefer, especially because, like, so I think YouTube, when you get to 30,000 subscribers, you can have memberships, but, like, at that point, you're probably making enough from ads anyway. Like, whereas Patreon, you don't have to meet a particular thing. Like, you can actually connect with your fans without having to meet some kind of arbitrary goal or whatever. And I like that. I think, I mean, Patreon's had its own controversies, and so we'll see how they go. Like, I've heard that they've been in debt, but they are trying different things to improve their income, like, on their end. So yeah, it's probably a good thing I got in early, really, because that means I got on the original deal. And so they're not going to charge me extra, but they are charging new people extra. Um, yeah, but yeah, no, I like Patreon, but I think, yeah, especially if I want to be on YouTube more, then diversifying is the thing to do. Any aerosol spray and a lighter. Oh no, don't do the flamethrower thing. You just set your place on fire or burn yourself. I find it amazing that people manage to build audiences of 1 million plus people. Yeah. Well, some channels have done that, like, as a single person thing, especially if they started early enough, because, like, even me, I did not expect, and I did not try to get a lot of viewers, but it kind of just happened. Back when YouTube was actually YouTube, like MeTube, it was more about people, and so it was easier to discover just random people. Whereas now YouTube is more corporate, and so if you try and start a channel now, your best bet is to have, like, a solid, like, business plan potentially. And so a lot of the big channels have, like, these teams of people behind them. You don't even see, like, even where it looks like it might just be one person, it turns out they actually send their video off to someone to be edited. Or, like, they actually get makeup people in and all this kind of stuff to do something that looks like a video blog, but actually there's all these other people involved. And, like, seeing some of the behind the scenes on those things, I'm like, that is not the kind of video blogger I want to be. Their tube now. Hello everyone. Oh my gosh. A lot of sole YouTubers have a whole team of people behind the scenes. Yeah, and I find it a little bit disconcerting. I mean, I guess one day, like, in some alternate universe, I could get to that point and be like, gee, wasn't I silly poo-pooing that idea? But I don't think it's likely. Like, to make this channel a bigger thing, I would either have to make more mainstream content, or I would have to have more of a focused niche. And I'm not either of those things. I'm just chaos. So I think I'll always be, like, one of those weird channels where, like, I sort of pick up a few people here and there who bother to look past the first video. But I think a lot of my subscribers, because my subscriber number keeps going up, but I'm a bit like, for a while I thought maybe they were just bots or something, trying to cover their tracks. But I think they might be genuine people who just subscribe to whatever. And I think people, like, a lot of those new people are subscribing because they saw one video and they assume that all my content is like that. And then I post whatever and they're like, what? Oh, you killed it, poured hot water on it. Okay. Are you sure it's dead? Because, like, I've seen a thing about a spider being attacked by a beehive, and they, like, stung the shit out of it, and it looked dead and had, like, a leg ripped off or whatever, and it was actually still alive. Like, it just played dead for a while. And then when the bees left, came back to life. Yeah, anyway, no. Yeah, so subscribers, yeah, I think, like, so there's some people who subscribe for tech stuff, which I don't do a lot of. I was just like, I do have some more tech videos if I ever get to finish. Oh, I started filming one and then I was like, okay, I'll film the rest of it later when it's all set up, and I just never got back to it. And this is how I YouTube very chaotically, like, oh man. Anyway, no. And then there's people who watch like my covers and they expect me to do more covers, and like there's people who subscribe for all kinds of reasons. And I think if they don't watch my other content and find out what kind of person I am and what I talk about, then they're not really going to become, would you say fans, viewers, regular viewers? I don't know. I don't know how to talk about these things because it's kind of a weird thing. Like fans to me is like, there's a musician who's very distant in a way. But then again, I suppose we had fans with Rainbow Death Ray and we were still very close, and, you could actually talk to people who were following the band. So, I'm not sure how it goes with things like, because like I feel like we're kind of having a conversation in a way. I mean, some people are just watching and they never speak up, but there's this conversation going. So like, what do you call that? What do you call that sort of relationship? It's weird though, because like I'm the one on camera and I can't really see anyone else. All I can see is the comments. Um, it's dead. Okay, well, at least you'll be able to sleep in peace now, right? Unfortunately, chaos isn't a niche. Well, I mean, everything is a niche if you try hard enough. Just maybe it's so niche that no one really knows what it is. And like as we said before, I am my niche, like my channel is me. My topic is me. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, wow. It's 11 o'clock and I haven't watched Angel. What episode am I up to? Next one's called Happy Anniversary, and that makes me a bit concerned. Anytime there's something relationship looking, I become a little bit like, I hope Buffy doesn't turn up because that's always a bad day. Anyway, although you'll get people who appreciate your diverse approach and understand your product is you. I am a product. There we go with capitalism. They saw one sensational video of yours and then an ants video. Classic case of first you got me and then you lost me. Yeah, my ant videos are some of my least watched videos. But I know like there was at least one guy who was watching me for a while waiting specifically for the ant videos. So there's always someone, but that's all over now. So I've lost the ant crown. And like I had no idea what was doing. So every now and then I get someone who's like, "Don't do that with the queen ant," and I'm like, "It's too late." Like I know now, but no Buffy, but Sab. Okay, well, do I want to watch it today? I don't know. If I start watching it now, it'll be like past midnight by the time I get to bed. So maybe I don't want to, especially if it's going to be sappy crap. So I can watch it tomorrow when, sleep isn't as important. Because yeah, I think I'll do better tonight. Maybe like I don't have that post bonsai sort of headache, and I wonder if sometimes I get that headache because of like maybe the way that I'm concentrating, and like when I lift, maybe I tense my head in a particular way. If it's a big bonsai, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so. Yeah, I do wonder what some of those randoms think when they come across my channel and they're like, "Oh, I like this thing. I'm going to subscribe for more." And then I come up with like, who knows, like that time I did that video for the fans and I just like filmed my fan, except that the video is so dark that you can't really see the fan, you can only hear it. I've been doing this kind of random shit since forever. I just don't give a crap. But I guess that reflects the fact that my channel was never for anything. It was just for me to, I was just like, I'm going to make videos. I think I've always had a bit of a fascination with video because I did, in year 9, we had an elective drama and film. And so I was like, ooh, video. Yeah. I don't know. It's just fun in some kind of a way. I don't know why, but it is. And yeah, no, it's interesting to me that I can talk for ages and people don't get bored. Like sometimes I worry, like, are my videos boring? I know my ant videos were boring for most people. But yeah, no, it's a weird kind of thing, especially like being not very social in real life, and then, like, finding that when I do talk, there are still people who are interested. And, like, I was very shy when I was younger, so I just, like, have a lot of thoughts but not really express them, at least not verbally. Like, maybe I'd write things down. I used to do a lot more writing. I found a lot of my old writing. Some things I wish I'd finished writing. Like, I was writing, like, I wrote the first episode of, like, a cartoon series or something, but a lot of it's very derivative. A lot of the stuff I wrote, I think, was drawing heavily from the stuff that I was into at the time. Um, so whether they had any potential is probably no, especially with my concentration span. But I liked coming up with the ideas more than the writing itself. But ant videos don't get me started. Well done sticking with me through the ant video period, though. Like, I do go through phases of doing particular content, and then yeah, then we get over that and we move on to the next thing. I just, like, some of you guys have been watching me pretty much since the beginning, and yeah, wow, that's a bit of a trip, isn't it? What happened to your hive? I think I posted, like, a final video. I don't remember what happened. I think they just, like, gradually died out, really. I don't know if, like, it was something I did wrong, if I was feeding the wrong stuff, because I did eventually find an ant supplier in Australia, with, like, cute little cube things, and you could also buy, like, some kind of goop stuff that is supposed to be good for them. And then I didn't even know what kinds of ants they were, so I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be feeding them. And during the winter, it was hard to find caterpillars, for example, to keep feeding them. Um, yeah, so when the spring did come and I gave them caterpillars, like, they were sort of into them, but there weren't as many ants, and yeah, I think they just gradually died out. Hopefully, I didn't, like, feed them the wrong kind of caterpillar or whatever, but ants, that's not why I subscribed in 2008. Oh, Hopi, you need to go out, do you? You had enough of this, huh? You had enough of listening to me. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You want to go out? You go. You going? I'm still going to close the door though. Oh wait, hang on. Oh my goodness. I can leave it sort of a little bit closed so he can push it if he needs to come back in, because everyone's gone to bed. That's how late we've been streaming. Baby Metal is your favorite band. Baby Metal, I haven't kept up with them. You sacrifice caterpillars to the ants, that's pretty metal. Well, yeah, because the caterpillars are attacking my bonsai, and ants like to eat caterpillars. So there are some videos of ants attacking the caterpillars, but I don't remember which ones. So if you want to see my ants eating caterpillars, it's there, and you just might have to click through a bunch of boring ant videos. No, Baby Metal, they're interesting, and there's some fun stuff, but I only have the first album, I think. What was that called? Was it just called Baby Metal? I don't remember. The one with, like, the chocolate song. I have that album, but I sort of lost track, and I know one of the girls, I think, had to quit, and I don't really know how things really work since then. And the problem for me with Baby Metal is, like, the novelty is fun and some of the songs are fun, but after a while, if I listen for too long, I start to feel a bit like it's a bit too much, and it starts grating a bit, and I need a break. It's not one of those ones that I can listen to for ages. It's a bit like Amaranth. There's some fun novelty value, but they're so cheerful. Like, there's two songs I like, I think. Two songs or just one song? I don't know. And then I can't. There's too much, like, of that cheerful pop thing, and the novelty wore off for me. You're intelligent and interesting. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't think I would get on well if, like, we cloned me, because we'd all be trying to, like, oh my god. Let's not even go there. But yeah, no, sometimes the way that people react to me is surprising. Like, I would not have thought myself, like, when I started my YouTube, I really did not think anyone would be interested in my whatever. I was just like, yeah, just making some videos. Here's my life. And twins. Well, like, I already fight myself internally. Like, my brain is all like, less so these days. My brain is less, at least at the moment. Sometimes it's hard for me to think like, what is my brain like at any given time? But use your intelligence to your advantage, my friend. Read as many books as you can. Well, I used to read a lot of books. There's books, and there's more up there, and there's more down there, and all that. But I think, I think the last depression, sort of like the last time I got depressed, kind of messed up my concentration span for a lot of stuff. And I was watching a lot of YouTube. I was watching let me just close that. I was watching a lot of those American comedians, because like the whole Trump thing was happening. That was an election year, 2016. Gee, do you remember when 2016 seemed dramatic? Because that was also Brexit. I bought all my shares during Brexit, so I guess the drop during COVID hasn't been as bad. But for a while, it was actually looking good. It looked like I'd done it well, but philosophy. I don't know that I have that patience. I think like once I started watching a lot of YouTube because I was just so dead inside, I couldn't do anything else. I was just watching those comedians, and yeah, I think I overdid it, and so I lost the habit of reading. And I've got like stuff to read. I think one of the problems though is I keep reading nonfiction and starting to fall asleep. I need something with like the right kind of story to get me reading again, or maybe I go and read one of my favorites because like there's some that you can tell if you go up close, you can see which ones I've read the most because the spines are all mangled. I think one of them, maybe it was my book of Greek myths. Got so mangled, my grandma bought me a second copy at one point. I don't know if I still have it, but yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, no, I should read more, but I'm so distracted. I think like that last depression, I don't think I had much of an internet addiction before that, but I do think I do now. Um, and it's just like so distracted, and I alternate between fiction and non-fiction, get a good mix of fun and learning. Yeah. Well, see, like the other thing is once I'm stuck on YouTube, then I watch some of those educational videos, and that's how I get my learning. It's like pop science kind of stuff, or whatever. I don't know. Like video content is easier to consume in some ways. Although like I fell off watching movies as well. I mean, apart from some of my favorites when I need it. But yeah, committing to a series at the moment is so difficult. I don't know. I'm doing okay getting through like one episode a night ish. Yeah, no, my brain really changed a lot in that last depression, and well, this is a different era of me being damaged. I just like I really do feel like there are these sort of like full stops in my life, and then I become like maybe like the next chapter of me, like it's that, or maybe like the next book in the series or something. That just feels like there's these huge changes in my life and the way I do things and the way I'm thinking about things. Like even the way that that's what makes it so weird to watch old videos is like, yeah, that was me, but it's also like not in a way. I think I've put enough distance between me and when I very first started that I can watch those really early videos because like it's enough of a disconnection that it doesn't feel as awkward. But yeah, I don't know. Looking at stuff that past me has done can be really disconcerting sometimes. And like the level of personality change. And then there's like the philosophical stuff about memory and how does memory define a person in a way. Like maybe that's just something I think of. But, if you don't remember who you like, your memories sort of influence who you are. If you can't remember it, are you still the same person? And like, if you had a memory implant, say that's possible one day, would you still be the same person, or would you be so influenced by those memories that you're actually a different person now? I don't know. Yeah. And so if past me had less memories than I do now, and if I've also forgotten some of the memories that past me had, how much am I, like, to what extent am I the same person as past me? And then I think about it too much, and I think the thinking about it too much is what makes me go like, What is anything? Anyway, I'm getting a bit tired. It's 11:12 p.m. here in Sydney, Australia, and we've been live streaming for almost 3 hours again. And Joe Rogan on YouTube, if he has an interesting guest or videos with Jordan Peterson. Yeah, Joe Rogan. I think I catch clips of that sometimes. Jordan Peterson, I've watched some of his stuff and some of it's interesting, but then some of it gets very repetitive. Like there are certain points that he likes coming back to, and I'm like, okay, I've heard this. And then there's the things that I sort of disagree with. But there's some interesting discussions. But my favorite one is Jordan Peterson versus Peter Jordanson or something. Like someone's mashed it up so that he's basically talking to himself like on two different occasions, and there's one that's really well edited, and he's basically like insulting alternate version of him. It almost works. Like there's a few bits where you're like, hang on, how did this logic leap? But it's well done, and like the reactions and so on. That's where I get the most value out of it. Although there's also one, Jordan Peterson is like Kermit the Frog, and Kermit the Frog is like saying clean your room, but it's Jordan Peterson's voice, because he does have a very Kermity kind of voice, and like once you notice that, it's kind of hard to unhear it. That's the most valuable. I think I've got that self-authoring. He has a self-authoring course, and while I was depressed, someone gave me a code for it. Can I still sign in? Let me see. So I have this self-authoring thing. Yes, I still have that. So while I was really badly depressed, I had that, and I was going to start filling it out to try and figure out like what I should do with my life. But I guess other things happened in my life, and I didn't get around to it. And I think like the way it's set up, I mean, he seems to have noticed that it's most helpful for the male students at his college. And me not being a male student at any college anymore. That wording was a bit weird, but anyway, you get what I mean. Is it too late for me to do that stuff? I don't know. Somehow I can't get into story movies these days. Yeah, I struggle a bit. Like, one of the problems with fiction is if I become too immersed in it, I start to like resent the real world for not being anywhere near as interesting. So that's a challenge in them. But on the other hand, sometimes I need a break from the real world. So yeah. And then sometimes the crazy part of me is like, no, we must watch one of these movies, and then I just feel crazier. But it's sort of like if you're itchy and you're trying not to scratch it, but it just sort of like nibbles away at you, kind of thing. It's like you have to do it anyway. Stuff and things. It's so like, it would be nice to have more time to do YouTube, because I I'll be going through my day and then I'll be like, shit, I should make a video about that. But I'm not in the position, like I've got other things to do and I can't make the videos. So if I could, with the YouTube partner program monetization, if I could make it into more of a job, maybe I could get more of those thoughts out before I forget them or before I chicken out, on a topic. That would be kind of nice, I suppose. But hey, this is where we're at the moment. It'll take some time to get anywhere close to that. I don't know how good the ad system is these days. Although I suppose there are different ways. Like if people have that YouTube Premium or something, you can get that without having to worry about ads so much. And yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see how things go, because like there's no guarantees. Like YouTube could always be hit with another crisis and then we're back to square one. This is the thing about putting all your eggs in one basket. And maybe that's one of the nice things about having casual jobs in so many different areas. Instead of having to rely on like one full-time job, and if the company goes busts, you're buggered. But no. YouTube is not like any kind of guaranteed prospect. And especially for someone as chaotic as me. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see where it goes, because you never really know, do you? Like some of the things that go around the internet as well, you're like, it can be surprising some of the things that get paid attention to. It is funny when you made a beat sound while walking in your last video. Is that when I was looking at the beetroot? Nts, nts, nts. That's about as close as I get to beatboxing. Um, maybe if I practiced, but yeah, no. That's not something I plan to put a lot of time into. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up, but if anyone has any last minute things to try and distract me with, I can keep going just a little bit longer. But I think after 3 hours of talking, my voice does start to get a little bit. But on the upside, being a vocalist, maybe I'm better at managing my voice than some other people. I don't know. How long do other YouTubers talk for? Who knows? Like some of the short videos. How do you make a short video? For me, it seems to be I either make like a 30-minute video or a 10-second video. Oh. Or like those cover videos that cut down to 3 minutes once I take out the rambling portion of it. I don't know. I'm either long-winded or very short. I catch on to little things like that. God help me, someone remixes it. Here's my beetroot. Oh my God. And like that flower has fallen over more, and I'm just like, oh, how do I manage all these plants, especially before the rain comes? So maybe that's what I'll be doing a bit tomorrow. Although I still have the other video I need to finish filming and editing, and it always feels like there's so much to do. And inevitably, I'll sit around on Facebook for ages, just like waiting for Facebook to do something, and forget to do the things that I told myself I'd do. So yeah, the distracted brain. I don't like how Facebook is trying to merge its messaging system with Instagram's messaging system, because I use Facebook and Instagram differently for like different purposes, and I don't want the same people contacting me on, the opposite platform. Like, why? Apparently, like, I think that there was a theory that they're trying to ward off what is it? Antitrust or something. So if they merge all the messaging systems, then they can claim that it's all just like one big app and it's not possible to separate them or something. And like, well, maybe they're trying to do that. I don't know. I think like monopolies in technology are a bit difficult, because like you could have a gazillion search engines, but if one search engine turns out to actually be better at getting what you want, why would you use the other ones? And if everyone sees the same way, then like the monopoly kind of like naturally happens, like it's just sort of like a natural selection thing, and the other ones just die out. I think that's how Google sort of got going. I mean, I don't know. I might be talking out of my butt because I haven't really looked into it a lot, but I think Google, one of the reasons it took off is because it was better than bloody Ask Jeeves. Do you remember asking Ask Jeeves dumb questions, or was that just me and my friends? Yeah, what? Ask Jeeves. What else used to be an old search engine? Was it Alta Vista or something? And then Google came along and it just sort of took over. Yeah. During the attention span of people these days is either 7 minutes or 3 hours, nothing in between. That sounds about right. Yeah. Oh man, I'm getting tired. So yeah, I'll wait till it hits 3 hours. Ask Jeeves dumb stuff. It was fun. I think we like even asked him if he was gay. And this is when like calling people gay in the playground like wasn't frowned upon. It was just like a thing. Excite was mine of choice for years. I've never even heard of that. But yeah, no, it's funny how much stuff has changed. Anyway. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we asked Jeeves if he was gay. And I don't think we even knew what that was, because I'm pretty sure that was in primary school. And what else did we ask him? Just dumb stuff. Oh god, the early internet. I mean, I know there was internet before that, but I feel like, the 90s is probably when it became a bit more mainstream and there was a lot of like weird shit. Um, but hey, yeah. So 2 minutes until we hit 3 hours, and I'm probably gonna go if anyone wants to jump in with a last minute whatever. But so if I summarize, wow, this live stream has covered a whole bunch of stuff. So, I mean, the main story of the day is I'm monetized. I'm in YPP, which sounds YouTube partner program. So I can have ads, I can have super chat and super stickers. And so we've had our first ever super sticker and super chat today. That was exciting. And I can now see, I've got that copyright tab where I can see if people are using my content. I think those are the main things that have opened up. And so now I've got to learn the system and figure that out. And I'll be retrospectively putting ads on the ones that I want to annoy people the most on. Yeah, to make a long story short, which I'm great at because then I go on to more tangents. Oh man, I can't help it. It's just especially, well, I mean, if you guys write a comment, that sidetracks me often. But also, sometimes my brain is just going on a thing, and then suddenly thinks of another thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, and then I forget what I was talking about in the first place. That's one of the things I like about Jim Jeffries' comedy is he'll be telling a story. I think what his most recent one was called Intolerant. And yeah, he's telling a story and then he goes on some tangent and then he comes back to the story and you're like, oh my God. Well, at least I am, because I don't know. I sit here going, guys, help me. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Anyway, 3 hours we've been streaming and I'm going to go to bed because I'm tired. My dog's already tired and he buggered off. So yeah. Yeah. So some good news for 2020. I think there've been speckles of good news here and there. But I think this one might be the most exciting so far because I didn't think it was going to happen. It was kind of a surprise how fast it happened. I don't know. 2020's had so much go wrong for me. Even without COVID, starting my year going, hey guys, what videos do you want to watch? And then the next thing you know, I'm in crutches, having been to the hospital and all that kind of stuff. Good start, and the year has not settled down since. But we'll do our best. We've survived this long. I guess that's all you can really do is just survive the best you can and hope tomorrow is a better day. My God, I even even things like the Claritine and the lactose problems, and it's all happening. No, I shouldn't growl so much late at night. Sorry. I mean, why am I saying sorry to you? I should be saying sorry to my family in case I wake anyone up. But yeah, and then Mikey discovering ASMR and all that kind of stuff. It's terrible. 2020. Anyway, I'm gonna go. So thank you for joining me, and thank you to people who are catching up on the live stream and actually watched the full 3 hours. Crazy. Well done. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching my stuff and helping me get monetized, especially these live streams going for so long boost those hours a lot as well. So thank you guys. And yeah, I guess you'll start seeing ads on stuff soon, and hopefully they won't be too annoying. But yeah, everyone, you've been also supportive. We don't mind ads, so yay. Thank you, because you've all helped me get here. It's like a team effort in a way. Anyway, yeah, thank you and goodbye. Stay safe. Try not to die. Oh, I'm rhyming by accident. I do that a lot. Maybe it's the vocalist thing. Yeah, try not to die. Because it's 2020 and fuck knows we're going to get an asteroid hitting us next. All right. See you guys whenever I get the next thing done.